Sounds good to me.
Chopping it with Mittens, joking about his name is so fly. Mittens, cause he whipping, don't you get it, but that stove's hot, hot. Now let this be a lesson, professor. He handling the hit in his possession. Ooh, what you cooking, what you cooking? Scalding hot beats, but blow up before it's cooking. Ooh, I know you're looking true. I'm Miley taking with this beat, I'm a lady man. I'm really trying to date it out. What's the number trying to call out? What about my team? Wood, shout they don't get logged out. Made by Bethesda, the only way we fall out. Morocco, you a mole. Find another hole to crawl out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, it's been a while. It's been quite a long time, actually, but we're all back here together now, right? So that's all that matters. Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is DSP News 2nd Edition. I am your host. Let's get right into it, ladies and gentlemen. I want to take you guys back a couple years. Into a video I think that's extremely important because it is the first steps that Darksydephil and Panda Lee took in their life together in Washington, and I think it's just going to be a good watch. Before we get started, there should have been a video that preceded this one. It's a channel update video. Basically, it tells you guys some of my future plans for the channel and what you guys can expect moving forward. If you guys haven't had a chance to watch it yet, no problem, you can check it out after this. I'm sure it'll come up in one of the end cards or something like that. So just so you guys have an idea of what the plans are moving forward. I won't recap on that right now. We'll recap it in like another video or something. That's pretty much it. Like I said, I hope you guys are doing alright and whatnot. Hopefully you guys, I know a lot of you guys have been rocking with me heavy on the main channel. We were coming off of the Twitch suspension / banning saga. It was long, it was grueling. I appreciate you guys putting up with the raw product. I know a lot of you guys don't seem to like that. But I also thought it put everything into context before I go in and cut them all up, because there's things that I miss, and so it's a hand and glove type situation. So I appreciate for you guys who voiced your opinion either which way. I appreciate the feedback, and you know, I just appreciate you guys all together. So thank you very much for that. Over here, for any of you guys who are new, this is where I do all of my DSP lore, essentially, which complements the stuff that I do on the main channel. So that's something to keep in mind. Some of you are asking, will Asian GTG come back? He's knee deep in his content right now, which is doing really, really well. And he'll pop up whenever. The GOUT's not going anywhere, so he'll pop up when he's ready. But he does say that he's looking forward to jumping back on and reading the comments and stuff with a video that he's in, I should say, and whatnot, because he loves doing that. He has an ego, as you may or may not have known, but he does miss y'all. I think that's it. Like I said, we're going to just pick up where we left off as best we can and try to hammer through, as I said in the update video, I'm going to try to hammer through a lot of the stuff that I have on my agenda. There's a couple of videos in particular that you guys asked for. We'll go over those. Eventually, after all of that has been settled, we will open up for open requests, as you guys know what the deal is with that. Also, I have some videos already in the clip for you guys. Same concept as we did on the main channel. I'm going to give you guys the raw stuff, and then I'll come in and talk over it later. But the difference is that this is all DSP lore. This is a lot of older stuff that some of you guys may have not have seen, or may have not seen in a very long time, or some of you may have not seen at all. So, or some of you guys might have forgotten about it. So I think this is just a genuinely good lesson before I come in and give you guys my hot take. So, and yet again, this is all done to kind of, for me, it's either a refreshment or a learning experience in general, so it'll complement the second channel. For some of you guys, this just brings you guys back up with the lore, whether you knew it or not. So I think it's yet again, it's kind of like a glove, a hand and glove type situation. One hand washes the other. So we'll see how that plays out. I don't know if I'm going to end up mirroring this one or not. If I do, I'll probably just, if I do, it goes up. If not, I'll just leave it like unlisted or some shit, just so we have it just in case, because Phil seems to be having a habit of deleting certain shit for whatever reason. Can't allow that to happen. In any case, and there's also some great DSP archive channels out there as well, so keep that in mind as well. But here, let's go ahead and get into the situation at hand, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with the King of Hate Vlogs first stream from Washington. This is from June 28th of 2014. Holy shit. It's, oh, my bad. It's also recap and open Q&A. There's a couple things I want you guys to pay attention to before we get into this video, because I'd like to go ahead and get it started. First thing, I want you guys to listen very closely to what Phil's plans were going into this. Secondly, I want you guys to pay attention to what he has or how little, or what little does he have in his room. It's almost barren. And just pay attention to him and Panda's relationship in general. The reason why number 2 is kind of important is the fact that a lot of the stuff that you see him have now, his that little desk, no, the desk he bought on his own, but like the mic stand, the soundproofing, all of that was bought with Patreon money. Patreon money made that happen. He didn't make those improvements because he thought it was that he should do it, and in turn do it with his own money. He used the Pay Piggy's money to pay for those things. Just like that Stream Deck that recently was unveiled, that someone in his audience purchased for him in like late 2000, in like either late 2017 or early 2018, and he hasn't used it because he doesn't want to update Windows 7 or 8, respectfully, depending on what. He would have to update both actually, because his laptop's running one version of Windows and his desktop's running another, and he won't update either one of them to use the Stream Deck. You know what I mean? Because those versions of Windows are outdated. Because he's a fucking idiot. Well, maybe not the Windows 8. The Windows 8 might be still compatible. I think the Windows 7 definitely isn't. Either way, he's too lazy to do it, and too stupid, by the way. So I want you guys to keep in mind on that. A lot of the things that he ended up acquiring to run his air quotes business the way you see it run today was legit paid for by Patreon money, and more importantly, paid by the Pay Piggies. He didn't shell any of that money out of his own. On his own, I should say. Same thing with the mixer. I think Patreon paid for the mixer too. His mixer, his mic stand, soundproofing. They paid for in later years. They end up paying for a new PS4 Pro. End up paying for the Switch. They end up paying for his TV. Holy shit, they paid for a lot of crap. If you really break it down, they paid for a lot of shit that he didn't buy. Oh fuck, this is gonna be good. Alright, ladies and gentlemen, let's not hold off any more longer. Let's go ahead and get into this. Hopefully you guys have your Snortbucks, or your Tim Snortons, or your Hard Snorts Gin and Tonic, that toxic flavor that never waver, close by. And let's go ahead and get into the situation. This is DSP News 2nd edition. And see you in a minute.
Wrong song, I'm thinking about bum bum. Chicka, wow, the calling of my sloan. The snapping of her thong, the rapping of this song. To tell you this voice gifted, giving you my own. So, hey, now what's better than that? Hey, now what's better than that? Hey, and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rockin' it, don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rockin' it, don't stop. I'm just a nerd. Hey, and it don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rockin' it, don't stop. Coach Crew gon' rockin' it, don't stop. I'm just.
I did, and I'm still recording now as well. We're gonna head over to this page on Twitch. It looks like we're good. Looks like we're about to go live. I'm sure people are about to start seeing this in a second on Twitch and also on YouTube. We are recording this for YouTube, ladies and gentlemen.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my TED Talk. Ladies and gentlemen, we're here with the King of Hate Vlogs. First stream from Washington. This is from, first stream from Washington. This is from June 28th of 2014. Recap and open Q&A. Now, another thing I want to point out to you guys, because I'm just now actually seeing it. Look exactly on how small, or take a visual of the dimensions of that room. It's a lot smaller than I thought it was. You know what I mean? A lot smaller. Because what would be your right, or on Panda's side of it, is where his closet's at. And then to his left, that's the door. Yeah, I think that's his office. Yeah, I think that's the door that leads out to the hallway. Excuse me. So yeah, it's a lot smaller than I thought it would be. That's a lot smaller. But that doesn't mean, though, he couldn't have had... It doesn't mean that he couldn't have had that green screen behind here, like his soundproof is still going to go on the wall. The green screen is just going to go in front of that. It's not going to obstruct much of anything. His audio is garbage anyway, so it's no. And I can say that because my audio is garbage, but his audio should be fundamentally better than mine. So yeah, his green screen would go right in front of that. And as Tevin, as well as other people have pointed out, praise be, that he could, if he needs to, he could just cut it to size it to, fit the size that he needs. And those big ass lamps that he has outside, we're gonna eventually go over those, because that's in his, I think that's in the moving vlogs. I think so, as well as the video where he talks about. Also, with that video, he talks about he thinks the house was owned by people who ran it like a chop shop. I definitely want to get that, because he basically exposed this person's personal information with their mail and everything like an asshole, especially that the guy was being audited by the IRS, and then Phil ends up getting audited a couple years later. Karma, ladies and gentlemen, karma. But Phil didn't need those big ass lights to go with it. He really didn't. And I think that's what deterred him from actually using the green screen in the first place. Like I said, we'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I think it's just a nice piece of information to point up. And it looks like Panda here is covering up the puppies, but that's a that's a thing. We'll get to that in a minute. All right, ladies and gentlemen, you guys know what the situation is. Let's get it.
Up on Twitch. What's taking so long? It's loading. In a second. Is it showing for
Twitch.
anyone? Oh, there you go. Now
Also
you
on
guys can
YouTube.
see
We
it.
are
It took a
recording this
while
for
for it to
YouTube,
show up here
ladies and
for us.
gentlemen.
Hold on. I just muted it. People said, oh my god, 4K quality. No, it is not 4K quality. Alright, so hello everyone. Welcome to the stream and or to YouTube. We are recording this for YouTube as well, like we always do. And welcome to our brand new home in Washington State. That's right, this is the first streaming video of this type that we're doing from Washington. It's been a very interesting, eventful week. We're going to try to get you caught up on what happened this week in this video, kind of a cumulative thing, so you know what's going on.
Yeah, just from his wingspan, you can kind of tell. Like, it kind of gives you an idea of exactly how small that area is. Holy shit. And then he must miss the companionship, too, because Panda used to find reasons just to walk into his room. I mean, granted, she was home all day, and she didn't really have much to do anyway, outside of cooking, cleaning, and doing all that other shit. So you would think, I think he took that for granted. He took for granted the fact that he had someone who not only loved him, but also loved spending time with him. You know what I mean? Whether he was, air quotes, working or not. Fucking idiot.
We'll give you some information about what's going on later this week and the delivery of all our things so that you know what to expect in the coming week or so. And then...
And you had someone who was on the inside, too, who knew all of his little bullshit marketing schemes and understood why he did everything the way he did to milk everything. And then this fan service with the titties you got right out here with the puppies. I'm sorry. With the puppies out and everything like that. She understood what the scheme was. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she understood how this all was supposed to work and how it was making money to help this clown so she could spend it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, she was wingman in it, basically. If the only thing that really kind of fucked over Panda, or at least one of the things, is she didn't do more content. Like, she should have done more content on her channel, and then we would have gotten way more Tevin and Panda Lee vlog compilations. But also, he could have just had Panda learn how to edit, and she could have edited all his shit. Which means KO Gaming may have actually been successful if one or if not both of them were actually doing the editing. All you had to do was teach her how to edit, or have her just look up videos on YouTube on how to edit, or whatever. He could have just ran that through her. She didn't have anything else to do, so I think she'd be glad to do it. Yet again, not utilizing your resources properly.
Open it up to Q&A. We're going to actually take some questions out of the stream chat and see what you guys have to say about the move, any questions about the home, etc., etc. Okay? So, first of all, hello, honey. How are you? She's apparently mute today. She can't speak. But yeah, so we are currently broadcasting from my office. This is going to be the room that's going to become my office once all the equipment shows up later this week.
I'm sorry, but this is what I do. So you guys remember when Kat first showed up? When she first showed up, and they had that very first meet Kat or introduction to Kat. Remember how uncomfortable Kat was when he used to put her hand on her or wrap his arm around her or whatever, and then you see this thing right here at Panda. Like, that right there was one of the first signs, at least for me, for anybody who had seen any of my coverage of that. That was like some of the telltale signs to me that relationship wasn't real. That under no circumstances that shit wasn't real. It was an engagement. I mean, it was not an engagement, but it was an arrangement. Sorry, that's the word I was looking for. It was an arrangement. It was basically roommates and whatnot. It had to be, given what her circumstances were, from what we knew about Subaru Man at that time, and the fact that he basically caught on to the fact that her and Phil were already communicating while she was still living with him. It only made sense for her to get the fuck up out of there, and he was kind of getting tired of her anyway. So it only made sense for Kat needing a way out, or not needing a way out, but just needed to get out. Phil needed someone to take care of him, and yet again, everything just kind of fell into place. And the funny thing is it was the pay pigs tax money that ended up paying for it. Let me reword that. The money that Phil allegedly needed for his taxes, that he begged them for, that money actually went to moving in Kat. That's fucking amazing, isn't it? Holy shit, he finessed them. He finessed them for tax money so he could use it to move his maid in. And essentially cuck another guy. God damn, horse stealing. This, ladies and gentlemen, was 2018 thievery. Thievery. If this is back in the Wild West, he'd be hanged.
Okay.
Or shot.
Now what you're seeing, the view that you're seeing, is actually a view, let me close the door here, of the wall. This is a completely blank wall that I'm going to be using for vlogs, for green screen shots, and for various different things that I'd like to do. I've never had just a blank freaking wall in my home to do that kind of stuff before, and that's going to be what this will be eventually used for this week, okay? So, the office
never happened.
Laid out. I actually did a video.
Actually, Tevin pointed this out too, or he points it out if you ever ask him, that Phil actually has two different green screens. One was paid by now I can't remember if they were both paid for by the Pay Piggies, or did Phil buy one and then the Pay Pigs bought the other one. It doesn't even matter. He never attempted to set either one of them up, or at least as far as we know, or at least as far as I know, and nothing ever came out of it. You know what I'm saying? Like, yes, he did some green screen work downstairs. That's the reason why you see that thing on like Tevin streams or Dark Dave Mirror streams, for example. You'll see him going around doing all that crazy silly shit. You see it in detractor videos every once in a while, but he never actually used it for a stream, as far as we know.
Before this stream to show you guys what exactly the place looks like, but I will be uploading that tonight along with this video and everything. The way it works is that in one corner we've got the internet, we've got the cable modem, all right? The other corner we've got the TV, and the way that it's going to be is one side will be my office desk with, you know, monitors, capture software, capture devices, and or, you know, the wires from the capture devices plugged into my desktop PC and my desk and my office chair. On the other side is going to be my television, my TV stand, all my game consoles set up how it used to be in my living room, and
yeah, kind of, except for legit everything is on the well, everything was kind of on the floor in his condo, kinda. Like most of his game consoles were actually on his entertainment center, if you will, but he still had wires kind of coming out of nowhere, or out of everywhere, I should say. Now it's even worse because he legit just has wires run everywhere because he's a fucking idiot. He doesn't know where to buy extension wires, basically, or just longer connector wires, I should say. He doesn't know how to organize jack shit. He don't clean up in there. You know what I mean? So he just leaves everything strewn around at all times. If I remember correctly, actually we know for sure, he used to keep the PS4 Pro, or no, his PS4, he used to keep it running all night because he had a hard time turning it on and whatnot, because sometimes it wouldn't turn on right away. So he used to keep that running all night long, whether he was playing on it or not. And I think he actually runs his PC 24/7 as well, because he can't remember what his log off code is, or his log off password is, or number code for Windows. Oh, wait a second. I don't think his version of Windows has that, though. It doesn't have a PIN. I think that was introduced later. Either way. So his main PC runs all the time. The fact that it didn't blow out, it hasn't blown out yet, actually surprises me, but that's semantics. We'll eventually actually go over his PC unboxing of not only the original PC that was made by Chris and Teo, that was back in Connecticut. We'll eventually go over that, but we'll eventually go over the CyberPower PC, which is the one that he uses currently. Eventually, we'll go over those videos.
Term. It's going to be my office chair. Then it's going to become a part of our sectional couch that cannot fit in the living room. Then it's going to become a love seat that I've ordered and isn't going to probably show up until August. So I've got all this in my head. The plans are in my head. We just have to wait. Now,
speaking of which, the love seat, which is what he sits on currently, the mythos, the pignosis is he got ripped off. That that it was supposed to be part of a package deal, but they forced him, but he was actually forced to pay for it, or he thought it was already included, and then they asked him for more money, yada, yada, yada. He hasn't said anything about it here, but he did mention, just as you just heard, that it will be delivered later on down the line because it's in back order or back stock or whatever the situation is, which isn't completely outside of the norm. I think the reason why he came up with the story that they charged him more money, and he ended up paying it. I mean, he never went back to he said he went back to the store and complained and told him, hey, I already paid for this. But if you got your invoice in hand, that proves it. That legit proves that you already paid for all of it and everything's good to go. What I'm thinking is, ladies and gentlemen, is he didn't pay for it. And what I mean by that, it means that the furniture store didn't have it, so they didn't charge him for it. Because why are they gonna? Because it would be egregious, kinda, to charge you for something that they can't give to you because it's in back stock. I think Phil didn't pay any attention to that. I think when Phil shelled out the couple $1,000s that he shelled out, he thought, oh, all done. And they were like, hey, we're not going to charge you for this yet. We will charge you when we send it. He's like, oh, okay. And he just forgot. I legit think that's what the case. If any of you guys have been to a Rooms to Go or a Kohl's or a Cane's or any type of a furniture store and wherever you live, right? You kind of know they kind of do these things. Now, some places will let you go ahead and just pay for it off the rip. And then if they don't ever send it to you, i.e. they're out of stock or they don't know when they're going to get it in, they'll just refund the money back to your credit card. You know, if you're paying with credit, I should say. But then there are also other places that won't charge you for it until it's sent, until the invoice has been sent, is literally delivered to you with your actual furniture in hand. And if the delivery driver, for example, says, hey, we don't have this last piece, but you're not going to be charged for it until we, come back and bring it to you, then end the story. I think Phil just wasn't paying attention. I think Phil thought he was being ripped off, and he really wasn't. He was a fucking idiot. So if he did go down there and actually complain, he made himself look like a fucking idiot. Legit. And also, another thing I want to point out is the mythos, yet again, the pignosis is, oh, it cost him $10,000 to move himself and Panda across country. I think that's a lie. I think in one of those early walkthrough videos, when they finally moved in, they were probably getting ready to go off to the store or something. I think Panda was sick that morning, to be honest. And he was like, hey, we have to go out to the store, whatever. And and they're in his kitchen, and he's like, it actually costed me like $4,000 to do this whole move and everything, and I had to put it all on a credit card. The other $6,000, that phantom $6,000, ladies and gentlemen, was to furnish the house. I guarantee it. It was to get the furniture for the living room, the TVs, the dining room table. That's what all it came. That's what he actually means by it cost him $10,000 to move across country. It wasn't just the actual move, but it was to furnish the house and get all the extra bullshit as well. Now, here's the amazing part. Out of that 10 grand he ended up spending, this idiot didn't buy himself a new laptop. He didn't buy himself a new television for either for his office, for his job, essentially. And then the big screen TV that he did have from his condo, he could have put that in him and Panda's bedroom. He spent his money poorly. He pissed his money away. And a lot of the things that he bought when he came to Washington State, he didn't even need to buy it. He could have brought that shit legit with him from Connecticut, but he didn't want to. He wanted to start off fresh. And that's something that he used to talk about a lot in 2017 and 2018. That was my past life. And I wanted to start brand new from scratch. A lot of his Street Fighter memorabilia, believe it or not, or a lot of his fighting game memorabilia, he left that shit in a closet back in Connecticut. Now, who knows what happened to it now? He may have given it to John or Howard, or it got thrown away or whatever. But he had a huge box full of posters, and it had other little shit in it too, and whatnot. Just fighting game stuff, you know what I'm saying, or whatever. Not necessarily controllers or anything, but just like posters and you know, shit like that, pictures or whatever that had to do with the FGC or had to do with his time in fighting games, a lot of Street Fighter stuff. He didn't even take it with him, which is crazy to me that he couldn't have had fitted that. Sorry, he couldn't have fitted that into his pod, which is how he ended up getting him and Panda got all their stuff moved. Fitting that one box into a pod and letting it just be shipped over. It's absolutely fucking ridiculous. Same thing with his old couch and the that table he had in his living room. I can't front, I actually like that table. Where the top of it extends upwards and it has storage and everything. And it's just levels, basically. I thought that was a dope table. He should have brought that shit with him. Didn't bring it. Fucking idiot. Anyway. Just to give you an idea of how wasteful he is. But just to give you guys also an idea of how he legit tried to start from fresh. He legit tried to start off fresh. Or start over fresh, I should say. And how much money he thought he was really going to bring in. How much he really thought, you know, oh, I'm going to go ahead and buy all this new shit. Because all this money is going to roll in. Because now I got this much bigger space. I got my own space. And the business is really going to ramp up. Just in case that speech sounds familiar to you, that's the same speech he gave when he moved into his condo in Connecticut. I got my own space now. I got my own area, you could say, that this is called my studio, and I'm gonna maximize and utilize as much of this space as I can to my advantage. You guys have heard all this before. If not, I've done a video on it on this channel, so you'll be able to find it. But let's continue.
Pieces to come together and arrive. Right now we're using a brand new lamp that we bought for lighting in here, and it's only on half capacity right now. It could actually get much brighter, so I think lighting wise will be good. What you're seeing right now on stream is we are using my laptop, the Samsung Meteor mic,
and even as he's sitting on the floor, he's still swaying back and forth. Fucking insane. Fucking insane.
For voiceovers during playthroughs, and the webcam that I usually use for vlogs. So there's no difference here. It's just that we're going through my laptop, and my laptop is nowhere near as good as the desktop, so it's actually delayed a little bit, and so I had to delay the audio here on my Samsung mic in order to be synced with my mouth. Okay, so that's just an explanation.
But yet again, that's the mic he had back in Connecticut. Like I said, the brand new one that he has, I think it's the same mic that Almighty Tevin uses. It's actually a really popular one. There's a lot of YouTubers who have it. And then the next one up is the one that you see people use for podcasts. But sorry, I'm going off on a tangent. Yeah, like I said, Patreon money paid for that. Patreon money paid for that mic and that soundproofing and all that bullshit. So keep that in mind. These are all things that he could have bought with his own money. He had the means to do all those things, and he still figured out a way to con other people into doing it for him. It's really wild. It's really wild. It's different if you're a YouTuber or a streamer and you're just starting off and you use some of your money from donations or from tips or whatever to slowly build up. No, he legit made these people buy him that shit. Fucking A, bro. Amazing. Oh, speaking of which, big ups to LSB. He's working on a video going over cults and DSP and his pig roach cult. I think it's gonna be a good watch. So definitely look out for that. I think it's still a ways off, but I think that'll be I think it'll be a good watch. I think it's gonna be a really good watch, to be honest with you, because Phil, as you'll find out, fits a lot of those categories. A lot of them. Not all of them, but a lot of them.
Just an explanation of what exactly is going on here. Now you may be saying to yourself, you're watching, and some people are saying, it's slowing down and it's speeding up. It doesn't look fluid. Yes, that's because I'm using my laptop. I'm streaming 720p from my laptop, and my laptop is not meant to do video editing. Okay? It's not. It's not meant to do video
You mean the
editing.
stream? You mean you can't stream from it, you mean? You mean video editing. You can't edit a stream. Just saying. The stream is live. And you could just adjust some of your settings. Well, you probably, I don't know, it's 2014. I'd like to think that he might have to just lower the general quality so it doesn't look the way it looks, but whatever. Semantics. But you can't edit a stream. So why are you saying you can't use your laptop for video editing? And on top of that, is that your excuse on why you never edited any of your videos and you just put everything up raw? Oh, but then again, ladies and gentlemen, it was raw raw gameplay, right? Raw playthroughs, no bullshit. Yada yada yada. King of Snorts. King of Snorts.
Like that. So it's going to have moments where it's faster and slower. It's not going to be perfectly synced, okay? Obviously, when my desktop shows up, that's going to be solid. This is just a bootleg setup right now, so I can do things like this during this week as we get set up. So, okay. People are saying my sound is quiet. The volume is low. Volume is very low. Hold on. All right, I could fix that, I think.
You know what the crazy thing is? And people have told me this before. They're like, it's funny how, sometimes if you guys will see it in some of these videos and some of the stuff on the main channel. I take clips that I get from DSP archives. He doesn't call himself that anymore, but Dragon Killer on Twitter. I usually clip a lot. He has a lot of old clips of DSP, and I'll go ahead and insert those into the beginning of some of my videos, just so you can kind of get an idea of Phil's mindset on certain topics or whatever. When you play that clip, and most of those clips are old, believe it or not. Some of those clips are older than others, and some of them are more recent. If you take a clip from 2015 or 2016 and put it in front of a 2019 or 2020 video, you would think it's all in the same time period outside of if Panda's in it or not, or depending on what the subject matter is. It all flows together. Now, the irony of all this, ladies and gentlemen, is the King of GOUT here says repeatedly, religiously, in fact, that he's changed, he's evolved, he's a different person, he does things differently, he sees the world differently. But in actuality, that's a lie. As I've said, he's very much a creature of habit, and he sticks to what he knows and what he's comfortable with. just because he changes what he says doesn't mean he changes how he says it, or doesn't mean that his mannerisms have changed just because he's trying to conform to the rules on the platform that he's on. There's a big difference. He don't see that, but a lot of people do. So it's kind of funny, how all of that stuff how time never really touched Phil, if that makes sense. You know what I mean? Like, the way he is right here, if Panda was still with Phil right now, this Phil right here isn't too much different from the Phil in 2020, in our current timeline. He hasn't really changed a bit, if you really think about it. Even though the woman's different, he's still kind of just the same lazy scumbag. The same person who sells people on ideas or dreams even of his content being so much better or so grandiose, and he never comes through. And that's one of the biggest problems with Darksydephil, if you're a Darksydephil fan, is he doesn't follow through on his promises. He just can't. He's incapable of doing it. Why? I couldn't tell you. But I can tell you, honestly, that's actually kind of easy. He's a liar and he's lazy. And if he doesn't think that it's going to immediately profit him, if he doesn't think it's going to be immediately profitable for him, he won't do it. or he doesn't, or he feels like if you're invested, or he believes, I should say, if you're invested in him, then you won't have such high expectations of him. You won't be, what's the word I'm looking for? You won't be so demanding. You won't be so selfish to ask of more from him, given what his schedule is and his life and how much content he's put out in the past. You should just appreciate him at face value. You know what I mean? Which is a really awkward way of looking at things, to be honest. Because as you get older and as the years and years go on, there should be something about you and or your content that should be different. But Phil doesn't believe in that. He has to stay the same old Phil because that's what made him popular once, and he believes wholeheartedly, by the way, ladies and gentlemen, he believes that's what's going to make him popular again. And that's fucking insane. Because that's legit. And Phil's an addict. I'm not, you know what I'm saying? Other detractors might feel a certain type of way about calling him that, but I'm going to call him that. He's a fucking addict. So he's legit. And so as an addict, they're going to have the same type of tendencies of chasing the dragon, for example. And that's what he does. He's chasing after old fame. You know what I'm saying? And old fortune in a lot of ways. And he can't obtain it. Not unless he's willing to change himself, and he's not willing to. So, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't seen any of that yet, he very much is demonstrating the addict mentality. You know what I'm saying? Now, just in case you guys don't know, he's an alcoholic, and also he has an addiction to gacha games. Allegedly on that, but it looks like WWE Champions, it looks like it's a thing. It very much looks like a thing. He can't really dispel it, and he knows he can't. He knows that we have him basically dead to rights. You're talking about people on the Tractor Twitter, as well as Kiwi Farms, and people on YouTube as well, who have done the research, and it all points towards Phil. And he can't, and unless he can definitively prove otherwise, which he can't, he won't, he's kind of stuck. And then, as of recent, someone tried to go over there on Kiwi Farms. I think it's They Call Me Tevin. I think it was the name of the screen name, and tried to he tried to defend Phil while also saying, "Well, what proof do you have? What evidence do you have that he spent all this money on WWE champions?" It was probably no more than like 10 or 15 minutes when people were already like, "Okay, this is bullshit. This is either Phil on a sock account, or this is one of Phil's orbiters or cult members or pay piggies that are trying to dispel that shit." And they got boxed in. I watched it for about a day or two, and then I came back later on. And after reading just a couple of pages, it might have been only 2 pages deep at that time, I was like, this person's going to eventually crack. They're going to eventually crack. Because the way they were boxing themselves in, and they didn't even realize it. They did not even realize it. They thought they had a valid argument. They thought that they were dispelling claims, and they weren't. All they were doing was exposing either that they're Phil, or they're a Phil supporter trying to basically poke at the hornet's nest, and they definitively didn't want to listen to evidence. They didn't want to go back and read threads, like the WWE Champions thread, for example, to actually see the evidence, to see the proof. They didn't want any of that. They wanted it to be spoon-fed right then and there. All the evidence, I want it right now, which sounds like a Philism. It sounds like a DSP. Well, it's called DSPism, but I'm going to call it a Philism because that's what came to my mind. That's a Philism. You know what I'm saying? Or that's a piggyism, if you will. That's what it seemed like. Now, was that Phil or not? I couldn't tell you. Who cares? The point being is, whoever it was did not think that out at all. And just kept boxing themselves in, and eventually got ran out. And so now it doesn't matter who it is. That account, They Call Me Tevin on Kiwi Farms, represents a very pathetic attempt of DSP or a DSP fan, you know what I mean, trying to come in and trying to prove that they were the smartest person in the room, and found out very, very quickly that this is the internet. And the internet is bigger than Darksydephil. And if evidence is presented to you and it's only a couple clicks away and you still don't want to look, you're a fucking lol cow. There you go. And that's the editor. Right back.
It could be that Windows auto-adjusted. Hold on, everybody. Hold on, everybody. We'll see what I can do here on the fly. Testing, testing. Let's see here. I just upped it. Okay, okay. I just upped the levels. Testing. There we go. That might be a little better now. I can also move it a little bit closer. There we go. Maybe that'll sound better for you guys. Okay, I tried to up it. I hope it worked. If not, again, this is the bootleg setup. This is only temporary for me to get stuff going now, just so I could do stuff this week, versus when my equipment shows up later this week, it'll be better, okay? So I guess what we'll do, people are saying it's way better now. Cool. Very cool. Okay.
Okay. Also, as it pertains to the bootleg setup and whatnot, it also kind of gives a little bit of credence to the John and Howard response. I don't know if I've mirrored that on the channel yet. I'm definitely going to do that because that's fucking hella important. But this right here should give a bit more emphasis in some ways, on how Phil was going to outline his plan for the future. Think about it this way. He's got his nice big house. He's got his girlfriend ripped away from her family, so no one that can influence her. He's got her out there in the middle of Seattle, all to himself. She don't have a license. She don't have a job, so no one can poison the well, if you will, that he hasn't already toxified himself. So he has the new house. He's got his maid. He's got all of his new stuff coming in. Machinima didn't renegotiate his contract for whatever that's worth. I've already talked about my theory on that. They didn't renegotiate his contract, so he's not going to take a further pay cut because he's not making nearly the amount of money that he was making because his viewership was already dropping. Remember, this is 2014, not 2015 when the Great Detractor Rising happened. This is 2014. And his viewership was probably dropping in like late 2013. Semantics. So, new house, maid, didn't take a pay cut from Machinima, and he believes he still has John in pocket. Maybe not Howard, maybe not OJ, but those may be possibilities. But he knows for sure, or at least he thought he knew, that he had John in pocket. The moment that Phil has everything he wants set up, everything's good to go. Oh, I'm gonna get John. I'm gonna get John in there so we can do co-op. I'll get John for Smart Guys. I'll get John for any other random podcast. And so the person who was slowly but surely becoming the major draw on Darksydephil's channel, being John Rambo, was going to be the payday. That was going to be the ticket. And that's why Phil showed all of that animosity for John over up till now. Over the years up till now when John didn't come back. Because John was like, hey, I got real life shit to do. Phil's like, oh, you weren't my friend. You know, you guys weren't really my friend. You guys were waiting for me to leave. You guys were glad that I was leaving. You were fucking glad when you were leaving. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you were glad that you were leaving. What? Like, John and Howard aren't fucking... They're not... They're not employees of yours, first off, but he kind of treated them like employees. But they're damn sure not slaves. So what the fuck? You're not there anymore. They're happy that you moved on to greener, well, what they thought would be greener and better pastures for you. Life keeps moving for them. Their life didn't revolve around you. Theoretically, Phil's life revolved around them because he needed them for content. Just something to think about.
All right, so let's talk. Let's talk about this past week. Let's talk about our experience, honey. What we've been through this week. First of all,
that seems very father-daughter like, don't it? Which is the reason why that meme is a thing. And the fact that this man right here can have his dirty hoof in her face like that, and she hasn't squinted or even gagged, is a testament to Panda and her devotion to the king of pigs.
Process of just getting ready to move this past week, you know, Leanna showed up on Thursday with her mom.
Yep.
Drove a U-Haul all the way through the state of Pennsylvania, then New Jersey, then New York, finally to Connecticut. And we spent the day unloading Leanna's stuff into my condo in Connecticut.
It wasn't the whole day. It was like a half hour.
It didn't take too long.
Wait. I thought Phil said that he was going to send the pod to Leanna, and then Leanna was going to take the I'm sorry. I thought Leanna was going to take the train to him in Connecticut, and then all his stuff would get packed up, and then they flew over. I didn't know that. I didn't know that her mother actually drove the U-Haul with Panda stuff all the way up there to Phil, which isn't that far. You know what I'm saying, really? But you know what I mean. Drove from Pennsylvania to Connecticut, and then they flew out. I didn't know that. I legit thought he. So wait a second. So Panda doesn't even count in all that moving cost. If you think about it, like, I want you guys to put this in perspective. So now the pod that Phil used to move his shit, well, their shit, that pod came straight to his house. And remember, I think Phil had his parents, and then John and Howard, probably OJ and a few other people helped actually load the damn thing up. And then Panda, with her mother and their U-Haul, ended up putting the rest of her stuff into that pod as well. And then her mother dropped Panda off and then drove back home. So none of that moving cost, that 10 grand allegedly, had nothing to really do with Panda. If you think about it, yeah, her stuff added some additional weight, but not enough to warrant even a couple $100 if you think about it. Okay. Okay, I'll bite.
And then, after that, we ended up going out to dinner at Merritt Canteen, which we vlogged before, so you guys know what that place is if you follow along our vlogs. Her mom stayed at a hotel. We had to pick her up the next day. Dropped her off at the train station. And then we had a long day of packing, which we did vlog. So if you haven't seen it yet, there's vlogs of John Rambo helping us, some weird stuff that we found while we were packing. Okay? And you should definitely check that out. But it was fun, but it was very draining. By the end of that day, I was shot. My back was killing me. Leanna was tired as hell. John Rambo, my parents were all tired as hell. And the reason we had to do that is because the movers were coming 7 a.m. Saturday morning. Incidentally, they didn't come that early. They came around 9:30, which was good because we got a little bit of extra sleep that day. And took the movers a good 5-6 hours, right? Mm-hmm. To get everything out of there.
Yeah, about 5 hours.
And then for us, we basically didn't fly out here till Monday, so we stayed in a hotel room for 2 days and just did a kind of a final little tour of Connecticut. You know, went to Orange, did some fun stuff there. Went and saw my parents' house. If you didn't see that vlog,
Right, that was on. I think that was his bucket list vlogs. We'll go over those too. To be honest, I might even try to do all of this in sequence like that. We'll see, but we'll probably go over those as well. Actually, I'm probably going to mirror this. Well, at the time that I'm recording this, I'm saying I'm going to mirror this, but you guys would have probably already seen the mirror before you see this anyway. I probably won't mirror the bucket list and all that bullshit. I will go over it, but I won't mirror that stuff. Okay, that right there opens up a lot of clarification then. So yeah, yet again, this didn't cost nearly as much. This isn't adding up. Like, it's not adding up cost-wise. Like I said, his mother basically Panda's mother took the hit. They rented the U-Haul, drove Panda stuff up there, she had a hotel and whatnot, which I would think Phil paid. If Phil was smart, you would have paid for that hotel. Who knows whether he did or not. Paid for the hotel. She had a hotel, then they dropped her off at the train station the next day, and then they proceeded to fly out like 2 days later. Like I said though, I initially thought that Phil sent the pod to her house. They filled her stuff into it, then the pod got sent to his home, then he put his stuff into it, and then they moved, and he just picked her up from the train station, and then they flew across country. I didn't know it was the other way around. So anyway, that's good to know. That's good to know. I would think it would, on just, principle and at least good faith, if you're going to go ahead and move her daughter across country, away from her family and her friends and everybody else, you would at least pay for the hotel that night that she stayed in. That's just me, though. That's all I'm saying.
only vlog ever of my parents' house. It's the only time I've ever walked through my parents' house, and you might want to check that out. They have some cute cats and stuff in that video. And then Monday we flew out here, and that also was an ordeal because that first day, Monday, we had to get up. We had to take our cable boxes and modem from the condo in Connecticut, drive them to the local store for our cable company, drop them off, close off my account, drive to my mom's house, drop off our luggage, drive and get some food, drive to the BMW dealership, drop off the car, sign the final paperwork, get the car insurance settled, get the delivery worked out. When we were done with that, they had to drive us back to my parents' house. Then we got a ride from there to the airport. Then from the airport, we get on the plane, 2.5 hour delay almost. Took forever for this plane to take off. By the time we landed, we were very delayed. Then we had to get here.
You can tell he never really traveled a lot. I mean, yeah, he went around for tournaments and all that shit, his tournament vlogs and everything. But like, you can tell he's never actually like flown for business, or he's never driven out of state for business. That's a normal day. I'll tell you right now, that's a normal day. So that's nothing. He talking about a 2.5 hour layover. Fuck all that. I've had 7.5 hour layovers and shit. So trust me, or being redirected to a whole nother city that's outside of my initial travel plans and whatnot, and being delayed by like almost a day. Come on, dude. That's just a day in the life.
We had to pick up our rental car and drive from the airport to here, which took about another half hour. Then it's like almost 10 o'clock, and we're like, man, we need supplies. We have nothing to drink. We have nothing to eat. And we had to run out and grab toiletries and last-minute supplies. So we finally got to relax here on Monday night. And, we vlogged as much as we could. And,
now, keep in mind, though, too, this is some of the general facts of what happens when you don't have a plan and you try to wing everything. And then Phil talking about, oh, we had to relax, this, that, and the third. You're an adult. You have obligations. You got shit you have to do. You know what I mean? Like, at the end of the day, there is no relaxing until everything's set. Like, even right now, like, there's nothing in the house or whatnot. So they should legit have a layout on how they want everything to go, where they want to put stuff. They should be, like, essentially, they should have everything laid out so when all of their stuff is delivered, it shouldn't take the delivery drivers, or the delivery men, I should say, any more than a half hour to 40 minutes, give or take how much stuff they have, to drop everything off and just be out. Like, same thing with moving in general. You know what I'm saying? If you have a plan, I should say. You know what I'm saying? But, Phil, there is no relaxing. At the end of the day, you're an adult. Every day you get up, you have something to do. There's something always to be done. You know what I mean? Now, you can make it easier on yourself, which is what I'm trying to say now. You can try to make that easier on yourself so these things go by a little bit quicker, a little bit more consistent, and then you have more time to kind of take it easy. But you just sitting around and just thinking you're going to relax for days at a time and shit's going to get done is not the case, which only puts more emphasis on how much Panda actually had to do in that house, more often than not. But that's semantics. We'll cross that bridge when we get there.
As much as we could, and this week has just been an incredibly hectic week. Every single day, we get up, we, do whatever we need to do to get the day started. Some days we've been eating breakfast here. Some days we wait and we go out and we eat something out on the road. And then
that's that breakfast spot that I think him and Catherine still go to. It's like 10 or 15 minutes away from his house and whatnot. He's been going out there. They've been going there since him and Panda moved out there. Like, he loves having breakfast at that place. And on their days off, that's where they usually go.
And every day we've been buying things like that we need, essentials for the house, whether it's toiletries, cleaning supplies, just things here and there, a knife set, dishware, utensils, so we have things to eat and drink with. Stocking the fridge, stocking.
Now keep in mind though too, him and Panda eat off pretty much paper plates. Like they do have obviously like dishware and whatnot, but like predominantly he's eating off paper plates and stuff the majority of the time. Which it's funny now that I think about it, ladies and gentlemen, because remember when when Panda left him, it feels like, oh, I have to cook something, and then I got all these dishes to wash, and yada, 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 yada. You know damn well that he was sitting there heating up turkey burgers or hot dogs or some shit like that. That's all one pan, right? That's all one pan that's being cooked off. That's let it soak for, you know what I'm saying, put it into some hot water with some dish soap, 10 minutes, done, let it soak in there for 10 minutes, done, clean. And he eats off paper plates. So what dishes were there? Even if you were going to say, oh, well, maybe he has to cut his ingredients. Maybe he doesn't buy sliced tomatoes from the store. There are some places that do that. And he has to actually cut his own tomatoes or everything like that. I assume he probably cuts all that on a plate too. If he don't, then he cuts it on, oh, well, I don't know if he had like the plastic like cutting boards, if you will. Those things are hella convenient. I don't know if he actually has those. Actually, I know he does have those, because that's what I think he has one similar to what I'm describing, because when he, in that sauce video, his for the family sauce, I'm going to definitely do that. We're gonna go over that whole fucking process. That shit's hilarious. He was cutting all of it on something similar to what I'm talking about. At least I think. So he does have that same thing. Into the dishwater, 10, 15 minutes, let it soak, boom, wash, done. You don't have to even let it soak if you don't want to, but you know what I mean. Done. But he said, oh, it takes him 3 hours to do stuff when Panda was gone. Basically, on his whole break. The whole time he was on break from between his first stream and his second stream, he had so much to do and he had so little time to do it. Even though he had admitted to us that most of the time he went off and got DSP tries. Meaning that he went off and got fast food. And all those fast food places, as he admitted in their first vlogs, when they got to Washington State, he said any food place they wanted to go to, or they could ever want to go to, were within 10, 15 minutes. The plot thickens.
Things that aren't necessarily foods that we can cook, because we don't have any of our pots and pans. They're all in transit right now. So what we're doing is buying things that you can quickly microwave or quickly make, or you don't need to cook at all, a bagel or a sandwich or something like that. And then, of course, there's been all kinds of things we need to furnish.
Yeah, you don't need to heat up a bagel, but, like, you would eat a bagel without heating it up? I mean, I'm not saying that you can't. I would prefer to, I guess. That's personal preference. But do you see Phil doing that? I don't see Phil just buying a bag of bagels from the store and just eating it like that. I don't see that at all. Especially with the bitching and complaining that he does in DSP Tries It about how sometimes his food isn't hot enough. Semantics.
In every room we've been putting different storage bins, fan for the, we found out that the central air really isn't that strong. It's not like an air conditioner pumping in your face. It's more like a very cool breeze coming out of your vent. And so we had to buy a fan to blow that air.
That's wild to me. They went ahead, they looked at this house before they bought it, right? And I would assume they did some type of audit. The air conditioner don't work. The air conditioner don't work. The fuck? Oh my god. Jesus Christ, like, you know what I'm saying? That's important. Ladies and gentlemen, when you guys buy a house, the air conditioner, if you have central air, the fucking water heater, you know what I'm saying? These are things that are like really important shit that you want to look towards and make sure that those things are all right, that they're working, that they're functioning. If not, you can legit have the seller fix those things before you purchase it. Shit, sometimes you can even get them just to install a new one, which is expensive as fuck, but they want to sell the house. More often than not, they're willing to do it, or at least split the cost. Phil don't think like that.
More effectively into our bedroom. Water. Waters, drinks, stuff like that. And every day, it's literally been make a list. We make a list, we go out, we check.
I want you guys to take a look at this, because you guys should already know what I'm getting ready to say, right? So, another thing that you're going to notice in some of these older videos is the progression of different waters and different drinks that they used to have, right? Like, they used to drink a lot of Sobe. Is it Sobe? Yeah, it's the one with the lizard and whatnot. They used to drink a lot of Sobe water. They used to drink like a lot of just stuff in cans or in bottles and shit like that, which is cool. No biggie. And they did this for years. And then when Phil went into this whole bankruptcy nonsense, and we had the whole situation with the pandemic, which we're still going through. This motherfucker mad because he can't get the El Cheapo water no more. So now he has to drink filtered water, or he's drinking water out of his fucking bathroom sink. But we went from having basically trying to drink the best bottled water they could get their hands on, essentially, to now him drinking toilet water. Not toilet water, you know, I'm being a dick, but you know what I mean. Drinking water out of his faucet in his bathroom. That's how far we've degraded over the years. And this is all within 6 years. This motherfucker has been humbled in 6 years. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to have a whole bunch of fun over here. Oh, shit. We're going to have a whole bunch of fun over here. Because I want you guys to see the progression of how his life truly turned. You know what I'm saying? And for the worst, by the way. You know what I mean? Oh, my God. All over something so small as bottled water. So good. So good.
Check off what we've gotten off the list, and then we have to add more because we find more and more every day that, wow, we need more to furnish this house. We need even more to furnish this house. And over the course of this week, we have done some major things, including we purchased a sectional couch for the living room. We purchased a TV stand for the living room. We purchased a new 65-inch Samsung 3D television for the living room. And I'll answer two questions that people are probably going to ask right off the bat. No, it's not the curved television, even though they had it. We didn't get that. And no, it's not a 4K TV. Number one, because the curved television, you don't even benefit from it unless you're sitting in the prime spot. And being that we're getting a sectional couch, that our goal is, oh, maybe we want to lay on the chaise.
I don't know. Maybe you should ask Michael Bay first before you make that assumption.
What are you talking about?
The curved TV, Michael Bay. You don't remember.
We want to be able to move around the living room however we want with this nice sectional couch. We don't want to, oh, you have to sit dead center in the center to see it. You know what I mean? So we didn't get the curved TV. It didn't seem worth it. And it was a lot more expensive. It was almost $1,000 more expensive to get it. And the 4K is just stupid at this point. It's incredibly expensive and almost nothing renders in 4K resolution yet. So why am I going to spend that much money on that television? So we didn't do that. We just did a standard 65-inch, 1080p LED HD TV with 3D capability that's going to be wall mounted this coming week. For the dining room, we bought this nice dining set, a hardwood table with 6 chairs.
I picked it out.
You did, and you did a very good job because I really
everything.
She legit picked out everything, which is when Kat first moved in. I said it in one of my old videos. I'm sure some of you guys remember. I was like, all she did was step into another woman's life. She legit stepped into another woman's house because Panda didn't just cook and clean. She basically designed that house to be to what she wanted. She picked, Phil legit let her pick out just about everything and let her decide where everything was going to go to within a level of practicality. Kat's literally living in another woman's house. There's nothing about that house that she can say is hers. You know what I mean? It's kind of wild. It's kind of wild. I was gonna refer that to a wrestling reference that I have about when Shawn Michaels used to date Sunny, and then that shit didn't. And the first house that Shawn had built, which was gonna be the house that Shawn thought him and Tammy were gonna, and Sunny, I think her name's Tammy Lynch though, but Sunny were gonna actually move into. That relationship obviously didn't work out, as you know, and then he ended up marrying one of the Nitro girls. And she ended up moving into her house. And actually, I saw a Sunny interview that I'm going to eventually go over. And Sunny was a little bit, she was a little bit salty about that shit. She's like, I designed that house. She did a lot of the internal work, I should say, on the house. Internal decorating. And she's like, I did all of that work. I did all of it. I did everything. And she's like, and another woman went ahead and moved in to what should have been my home. And I was like, yeah, but you were still dating, dude, and whatever. A whole nother situation. A whole nother situation. As for the 4K, did he really need a 4K television in 2014? Probably not. Curved, I think it would have been nice. I get the joke she made about the Michael Bay shit. It is what it is. If that went over Phil's head, that went over Phil's head. The curved television would have been nice, though. That's just me, though. My opinion. And then if it's on a wall mount, it can actually swerve any way you want, Phil. But semantics. And why the fuck did you get why the fuck did you get a TV with 3D capabilities? What was the point of that? If you think about it, it's a gimmick. It is what it is. But what was the point of that, really? You know what I'm saying? So you're gonna shit on 4K, but you're not gonna shit on a TV that does 3D. Whatever. Either way, all three of them were features that he didn't need. That's the point.
The the new dining set. You guys see it once it shows up. What else? We had
Let's
I'm
see.
losing my mind here for a second. Oh, we got a storage bench for our bedroom. That'll be showing up. A love seat that's going to be for this office. The only bummer with the love seat is that it's delayed. It's not going to be showing up until late July into early August. So that's why in the interim of that month or so, I have to figure out like a bootleg way to do my gaming without having a proper seating here. And the movers themselves, who are moving their stuff from Connecticut to here, are going to be showing up on July 6th, which is this Thursday. Okay, so we got the TV coming this Tuesday. We've got, I'm sorry, not July 6th, July 3rd. I screwed it up. Let's go through the timeline. July 1st, which is Tuesday, the TV shows up. July 3rd, the movers show up with all our stuff from Connecticut. It's probably going to take us days.
Here, let's actually start the timeline. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the 28th of June. So we're talking, he's legit talking within the span of a week, week and a half almost, the rest of their stuff's going to come in, give or take. Because it's at least, if he said the first item that's going to be coming in doesn't come until the second or the third, that's like 5 days away from the day that he recorded this. Or he's streaming this, I should say.
Set this stuff up. We got so much shit. We had over 150 items.
We have so much stuff yet. I will be unpacking the vast majority.
No, I'll be doing. What am I? I'm gonna have to help you. How are you gonna know what I mean?
And that's what I miss about Panda. Panda is quick to call out bullshit. She is quick to call out bullshit. She didn't do it with any type of, not to say that there's a reason to fear Phil, because there isn't. Too bad none of his pay pigs fucking know that. But anyway, she would call out his bullshit on a whim. And she was blatantly honest about that shit. It came across comedic at times, but it's legit the fact that, yeah, we have all these items, but I'm the one that's going to have to unpack it. I'm the one that's going to have to organize it. And what's Phil going to do? Phil's going to be like, oh, I got to be upstairs. I got to work, honey. You know, I got to pay these bills. I'm the man of the house. I got to provide. He can say all this bullshit right now because he's on stream and he don't want to look like an asshole. In reality, we all know how that ended up playing out.
Yeah, you're gonna unpack literally all your stuff, and then the second your stuff's set up, I'm never gonna see you again. You're gonna live in your office.
That is not true.
You're gonna lock the door. You're gonna take the hamsters with you.
How dare you?
You're gonna have to wait outside.
You see how and the thing is, right, is the way how she called him out and how he reacted is no different than how he gets called out when people call him on his bullshit on stream. And you know it in the way he went ahead and put his head down in shame and shit and whatnot, and he would like periodically try to defend himself. Kind of proves that. Holy shit! Well done, Panda. Well done.
That is not true.
Yes, it is.
Okay, so, you know, once that stuff shows up, we're going to be spending entire days getting everything set up in the house, I'm sure. Then the next delivery is July 6th. That's going to be all of the furniture. So the chaise sectional, the dining set, the TV stand, the bench, all that's coming on the 6th. By the 7th, we haven't been promised a date yet, but by July 7th, we're supposed to be getting our new car, which is kind of a little bit upsetting to us because we were told we're going to get it within a week. And I'm disappointed because I'm stuck with this rental car. We're currently renting a Toyota Camry. And I'll be honest with everyone. It smells. It's dirty. There's stains all over the seats. And the trunk leaks. Like the day one when we opened the trunk, the whole thing was soaked. And it wasn't like, oh, they cleaned it. No, this was like rainwater soaked the trunk. And ever since then,
it smells moldy.
It smells moldy and it's still wet. We had the car for almost a week. We still can't get it to dry out.
It's really
okay. Oh my god. Are you fucking retarded? Phil, if you rented a car that smells, it has issues with it, it has problems, whatever, take it back to the rent-a-car place and ask for a new car. If it has stains in it, if it smells, if practical functionality is not a thing with that vehicle, then you take it back and ask for a new one. You don't sit there and just deal with it, idiot. And that's, yet again, ladies and gentlemen, one of these fundamental common sense type things about life in general that Phil Burnell don't get. There are things in life, ladies and gentlemen, that you're going to have to just eat shit and deal with. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to eat shit. I mean, you know what I'm saying? You don't have to eat shit, but there are certain things in life that you're going to have to deal with. It's just a shitty hand. You're going to have to deal with it in the temporary. But stuff like that, when you're throwing down your hard-earned money, or somebody else's hard-earned money in Phil's case, for a service, you don't have to sit there and deal with bad service. You don't. You don't even have to be a dick about it. You just go, like, after a day, because I would assume it'd be like at least a day or so, because maybe that day when they picked up the car, or the car was delivered to them, they didn't notice it, or it wasn't as bad or as apparent, whatever. But the next day, I'd have just gone back to the rent-a-car place and be like, hey, these are some of the issues that I have with this car. I want a new rent-a-car. I want a brand new rent-a-car right now. Well, you know what I mean. I want a new rent-a-car. And they'd be like, okay, no problem. Doom. They switch it all. They switch up the paperwork, obviously, because you're taking a new vehicle, which is more than likely a new make and model, so on and so forth. Bam, you're in it. You could probably be in and out of there in 20 minutes. Pure and simple. Instead of you dealing with that piece of shit, because you have to go around, you have to get groceries, you're making big purchases for your home, things like that. You can't put it in a fucking moldy ass car, or in a moldy trunk at the very least. What the fuck? Like, what's the point of that? And those stains in those seats, you don't know what that is. It could be juice, it could be blood, it could be whatever. You don't need to fuck your clothes up doing that shit, especially with the smell. I mean, granted, Phil does smell, but you know what I mean, whatever. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to put up with things like this. But these people but both of them have gone around dealing with this for a week. And I guarantee you, I can't guarantee you, but I bet you, that Panda was like, let's just take the car back and get a new one. Oh, no. They say my BMW will be here in another day or two. We'll just deal with it. You don't have to deal with it. You are paying for that rent-a-car, idiot. You don't have to deal with nothing. You don't have to put up with it. But it's that same type of mentality that he's instilled into his audience. Oh, you don't like the content? Oh, well, deal with it. And guess what? More often than not, and most of them actually do, they just deal with it. Instead of asking or demanding change, oh, well, you know, Phil said that this is all he can do, so I'm just going to put up with it. And where the fuck did they get that from? From this moron here who does the exact same goddamn thing. There's no need to sell yourself short, ladies and gentlemen.
Stuck with this car probably for another full week, unless the new car shows up early, which it could. But they said the latest it'll show up is July 7th. So for all intents and purposes, by July 7th, we should be 100% set up here in Washington. We'll have everything sorted out. We're actually starting to get things sorted out that we didn't know. Like, for example, we had a little remote control, and we didn't know what the remote control was for. We didn't even know what it did. And come to find out, the remote control opens the front gate. We don't need to run out of our car and dial in a number on the keypad. It's just a remote control. You click it and it opens. We also got the front gate is going to be set up with our home phone today or tomorrow. Actually, he said either today or tomorrow, where when someone comes to the front gate, because this is a gated community, you cannot get in without permission, they'll dial my name or my number. You know, they'll say Burnell and the number. They'll dial it. It'll buzz my phone, and then I can say, who is this? And if I want them to come in, I just press a button and the front gate will open. So that's a nice thing. As you guys can see, our internet and our TV are set up. And what I'm actually going to do here is I'm actually going to go into the streaming software. And what I can tell you guys right now is that we've been streaming for, what, about 10 minutes now, I'd say?
Sure.
And the streaming software has not screwed up or dropped any frames of animation. I know you guys are saying, oh, it's choppy, it's not smooth. That's not because of my internet. That's because my laptop cannot really handle the stream very well, okay? Again, like I said, this is just a bootleg setup. This was not meant to be, oh, this is how Phil will be streaming. No, once the desktop PCs are here, that's what I'm going to be using to be doing the live streaming. I'm not going to be using the laptop. I'm looking right now, I can tell you, yeah, the laptop is very choppy. In fact, if I had known it was going to be this choppy, I might not have gone this high of a resolution. I might have went a little lower. But yeah, so we have not dropped any frames of animation. The internet speed
and yet again,
good.
Bought a $3,000 lemon, but didn't think about buying, I don't know, a fucking $300 or $400 laptop to go along with it. He could have taken that old laptop that he's currently streaming off of, as well as the old PC that was made by Chris and Teo, and put that shit in the fucking closet or in the nook or whatever, because he has two other desktops in there. Just to give you guys a full tally, Phil has 4 PCs altogether, and then a laptop. First PC is an HP, which he used to do do work on. I don't remember if that was the one that was in the living room or if that one used to be in his bedroom back in his condo. Because when he was in his condo, he had 2 PCs. He had an HP, and then he had an Acer. And then Chris and Teo made him one, and I think that was the one that sat in his living room. So there's 3 PCs, two store-bought, and then 1 custom-built. And then he ended up getting the one from, both of those are definitely in a closet somewhere. Or all 3 of those, I should say, are in a closet somewhere. And then now, the only thing he has is that old laptop that he's had for fucking ever. And then the CyberPower PC, the $3,000 lemon. So, just to give you guys a perspective.
We've got the modem just here in the office. This is going to be just for me and my work. So for playing games online, for live streaming while I'm playing, and for uploading the videos afterward. That's all this is for. It will not.
Problem is, it's in a bad place. And if I remember the lore correctly, I think the guy told him, whoever the cable guy was, told him, hey, that's not the most optimal place. We can put it somewhere else. And he said, no, I need it right there because of yada, yada, yada. And end of story. And so that's why. But he tells you guys all the time on Street Fighter and other games he plays online, with the lag or whatever, or, the connection keeps dropping, and that's not my fault, it's not my problem. But it is his fault. It is his problem. Because a couple of years ago, he had an issue with his internet, and instead of letting them come in and actually resolve it, he was like, I can't afford to take a day off or whatever. And they came in and put an amplifier, sorry, in there. I don't even know if the amplifier is even in the office. I think it's in his bedroom for whatever reason to try to boost the signal, which makes no sense, but semantics. Remember, this is Phil's story, by the way. And it was basically a quick fix. It was a Band-Aid. It's a patch onto the overall problem. And that's it. Instead of taking off a goddamn day and you don't even need to take a day. You may not have a morning stream. And just have them come in and resolve your internet problem altogether. I'm sure now that he has a new IP and then there's a new modem and everything, he finally let them square it away. But he could have done that years ago. And then every Friday, Street Fighter, Goji Tank's internet's bad. Or no, Goji Tank lags. Bullshit, by the way, but Goji Tank's lagging. Or Evil AJ's connection shit. Or which is also bullshit. Or Jose is purposely lagging out. More bullshit. In actuality, some of this, not all of it, but some of it's also on his end too. But he don't want to admit that because, I pay for business class internet. I have the best internet possible, and I pay more money than you guys pay for your internet, so I have the best because I pay for the best. That doesn't mean a damn thing. Realistically. That doesn't mean a damn thing. Most people, and you can ask Memology 101 on this, big ups to him. Most of you guys have faster internet than Phil does, and allegedly he allegedly has business class internet. He's paying $260 a month, $230 a month for internet and shit. What the fuck? I got 2 internet lines and shit, and I don't pay nowhere near that. Nowhere near that. Semantics, though.
Wirelessly connected to it, that people will be able, I'm going to use my iPad and my iPhone. No, nothing will be wirelessly connected to it. The speeds that it's capable of, I did a speed test before we started this very stream, and the test results that I got was 114 megabit per second download, 24 megabit per second upload.
That's light. Sure my shit beats you all day, but whatever. Semantics. But that's light. That's light.
Fluctuate. We're going to have to see during prime times. Does it get higher or lower?
Keep in mind, though, too, this was like 2014, so, it is what it is.
But for now, since it is business level internet, I'm thinking it's going to be good. Now, downstairs, this is funny because Leanna actually has her iPad right here. You may be saying, well, if she has her iPad, what is it connected to? We have a second internet line completely separate from this one downstairs in the living room. And that one is running at roughly, I believe they said 50 megabit per second download. And it's supposed to be 10 megabit per second upload. Even wirelessly, I tested on this laptop downstairs. And even there, I think it was like 10 and 10. 10 down, 10 up wirelessly. So it's really good. I mean, from what we've seen in these past couple of days since the internet's on, we're very pleased with the quality of internet that we're getting. Now, we have not done anything professional level yet. Like I said, this could completely change.
We haven't done anything professional level. And he only has 10 up, 10 down on Wi-Fi? Wow. This is... Wow. Man, 6 years ago sucked. Oh my god, 6 years ago sucked. Holy shit. I don't even think 6 years ago my internet was that bad. It wasn't even close. Actually, I know it wasn't. Like 6 years ago, I was definitely catching more than 110 up or 110 down and 24 up. I definitely had better internet back then. What the fuck? Anyway, whatever. But just semantics.
Now it's looking positive. The cable boxes. We've had that installed since Wednesday. It's Comcast digital cable. They call it Xfinity. And for what we can see, we get most, if not all, the channels that we had in Connecticut, all in HD quality. We've got DVRs in every single room. Well, no, let me take that back. We have 3 DVRs. One's in the living room, one's in our master bedroom, and one's right here in my office.
Oh, we don't have one in the bathroom?
No watching Gordon Ramsay as you're on the shitter.
Wait. Why do you have a cable box in your... Why do you have a cable box in your bedroom, or sorry, in your office, Phil, when you say that you don't watch TV in your office? You only game in there, and that's it. Why? What? I didn't know that. No, actually, I did know that because you can see the box in his setup videos, I believe. Yeah, I believe in his setup videos you can see that. Like when he unboxed the Switch, when he unboxed the Nintendo Switch, the one that bricked, I think you can actually see his cable box in that. But yet again, he says he doesn't watch TV in his office. But people were like, well, don't you watch wrestling in your office? And he says, no, everything I do in the office is business related. But that seems like a lie now, though. Did you really need 3 cable boxes, though? You got one in the living room, you got one in your master bedroom. The fuck you need one in your office for? Unless he's watching the naughty channels in there. Unless that's a thing. Or that was a thing. Holy shit.
Oh god.
It's raw, huh? So,
God.
The goal here is in the living room, what we'll probably do is record programs that we both like to watch, that we'll want to, relax at night together on the couch and watch on the big TV and or things like that. In the bedroom, we may record certain series that maybe we like to watch when we're going to sleep. We'll probably also have some kind of a Blu-ray player set up in the bedroom to watch, DVDs and stuff as we go to sleep. And then the one here in the office is going to be for wrestling. Like, I kid you not, the only reason I got...
Yeah, he lied. He says that... Well, he lied on 2 fronts. He said that he doesn't have time to watch wrestling, but legit he does, or he did, I should say. And he says he doesn't do anything business related in the office, or he doesn't do anything that's not business related in the office, but it's obviously has the capability of it. Now, keep in mind, I know most of you guys are already in the comment section saying, remember GTG, he said he got rid of all that. You know what I mean? He, what does he got now? He has Hulu, Netflix, and he definitely has WWE Network. He has those things now. Absolutely. But he also has the capability of streaming all those things in the office as well. So you're right, by the way. I'm just saying, this is all past tense. But he actually has... This guy is a bullshit artist if you've ever seen one. Alright. Well, whatever. Like I said, we're sticking to the history. He didn't need 3 boxes, though. He really didn't. He didn't need business class internet. He could have just gotten a regular internet line anyway. But whatever. I think he said they forced him. He'd be forced to get business class internet if he needed a second line. At least that's what he said. All right. Let's continue. But he didn't need a 3rd box. He really didn't. I don't know what whoever it was who sold him on his deal, they finessed the fuck out of him. Yikes.
Cable box here in the office is for pro wrestling. So I'll be recording Raw, SmackDown, TNA.
You could have watched all that online. Whatever.
This thing And also, I'm going to have my PS3 hooked up to it where I can watch WWE Network. So that way, Leanna doesn't have to be subjected to the horrors.
And Amazon and Hulu, yet again.
Wrestling world.
I said I would watch it with you.
You don't want. Trust me when I say this. You don't want one show a week. You could probably watch. After you watch Raw 3 hours, and then now I'm going to watch SmackDown.
Wait, so Panda was even willing to watch wrestling with him? And you somehow fucked that up, but yet he can't get Kat to watch wrestling or Marvel. Well, he can't get her to watch wrestling, I would assume. He definitely can't get her to watch Marvel movies, if that's the lore. The lore is that he can't get her to watch Marvel movies with him because her ex, in air quotes, forced her to go and see those type of movies, and she's all burnt out. But you had Panda who was willing to sit down and watch wrestling with you, and that wasn't a thing? Was that you and John's time to text each other and reminisce and shit? Was that why you didn't want her in there, Phil? This will make a great screenshot, by the way. Why would you discourage her from that, though? Like, ladies and gentlemen, if your significant other is okay with watching something that you enjoy, just let them. If they get tired of it, if they get bored halfway through and they decide to pick up and do something else, cool. But if they're willing to do so, then let them. Why would you discourage them from the rip? Kind of like that vest streak. How early on, as I told you guys, he would sit there and say, I don't think we're going to hit it. I don't think we're going to hit it. I don't think you guys are going to be able to, yada, yada, yada. The vest streak could end at any time. Now, he's literally going into massive fucking overtime to keep the damn thing going. Big ups to the person on Twitter and the people in the comment section who let me know this. But he went on, the other night, he went on like an hour plus overtime on Paper Mario, the Origami King, I think that's what it is. On Paper Mario, he went into overtime for an hour just so he could hit the streak. An hour overtime. Whew. Whew. Boy, his audience is torturing the fuck out of him. And that's a good thing. Make his ass work for it. Don't sit there and listen to this bullshit where he demands you guys hit the vest streak within the first like half hour of the fucking streak of the stream, so less pressure's taken off him. Fuck you. You're there to be entertained. And remember, people leave tips to streamers when they feel that the streamer does a good job, not because they demand it. So as far as I'm concerned, his audience, they haven't completely woken up, but they're smartening up at least a little bit.
You will vomit. Your head will pop off its hinge and go, projectile vomit 360. And let's face it, neither of us want to clean up that mess, honey.
Okay.
Plus, you have shows that you like to watch that I don't watch. Right?
But how can I make you watch them if you're in here watching wrestling?
Well, maybe eventually you can, but right now I know there's like, for example, what are the ones that you're watching? There's Jackie.
We don't have those anymore.
Well, we could get them if you wanted them. Showtime, we could get it.
Well, we don't have it now, so I can't I can't force you to watch.
Well, what shows? I'm trying to think. What shows were you watching that I don't watch?
The Showtime shows.
Mm-hmm.
Bar Rescue's kind of fun.
Okay,
Pretty much everything
that.
on HGTV, Food Network.
Bar Rescues is actually a good series. I like watching the old episodes of that. HGTV, or I think she said HGTV. I don't know. I guess if she names a show, maybe I've seen it, maybe I haven't. But yet again, why are you discouraging this chick from spending time with you? Because that's kind of what he's doing. He's like, yeah, wrestling's me time. That's time just for me and me only. I don't want to spend all my time with you, bitch. What channels do you want? Oh, we don't have those channels. Well, what are they? I'll get them for you. So if it keeps you off my back for a little while. Ladies and gentlemen, you're seeing some of the early signs and shit. You just moved in with this girl. If she wants to spend time with you watching wrestling or whatever, let her. Unless she annoys the fuck out of you. And you just really need her to cook and clean and that's it. And show her off as a trophy. Not really, I don't know if you'd say a trophy, but you know what I mean. To just kind of show her off so everybody else so all the other wheelchair symbols can live vicariously through you. I don't know, ladies and gentlemen. I'm not saying that this isn't necessarily hypothetical pignosis or anything, and it's certainly not a Theo theory, but it's not exactly a Theo Theo theory. Sorry, that's how I coined it. But I don't know.
Gordon Ramsay show.
No, we watch those together. We
Yes,
like
we do.
those. So our goal here is going to be, we're going to have shows we like to watch together, and shows that I know she doesn't want to watch, and I'm probably not going to want to watch, that she watches all the time. And so we'll have our separate DVRs. You could watch it in the bedroom.
But she didn't say she didn't want to watch wrestling. She said she'd be willing to sit there and watch it with you, and you're discouraging her to not do it. He's basically projecting to her like, "Hey, you're not gonna like this. You'd be wasting your own time. I'll get you the channels you want, so you can stay the fuck away from me, so I can have my time away from you." What you're kind of seeing, ladies and gentlemen, if this is definitely a hypothetical pignosis. You're seeing the early signs of him trying to distance himself away from her unless he needs her to do something or he wants to spend time with her. Don't get me wrong, every couple needs some time apart and whatnot, whether you live together or not. That's understandable. We can all agree with this. But it's very obvious that she wants to legit spend time with him. And I'm working full time, I'm running my own business. How much time does she really get to spend with him? Oh, quite a bit. Because that whole bullshit he was talking about back then about spending 12 hours plus on his business is absolutely bullshit. So that's a thing. Right? Jesus, Phil, already pushing that girl away, and you just stole her from her family. Kinda. Or you convinced her mother to give her away, and now you don't want to spend no time with her? Jesus Christ.
I'm watching my wrestling in here probably once a week. We'll figure it out. We'll make it.
Now keep in mind though too. Yeah, see that look on her face? Bullshit. Good shit, Panda. But also, another reason why wrestling was so prevalent at this time is because of John Rambo. Smart guys. He invested. So now I'm kind of answering my own question in a lot of ways. He invested in the DVR, the third one, so he would have that for the podcast. And in actuality, if I had to guess, because I don't trust Phil enough, and from what John said in the John and Howard response, and given what we know about Phil, I don't trust Phil enough. I think Phil would, like the day before the podcast, Phil would just binge watch a bunch of wrestling leading up to what they were talking about, and then he would just play off of John, if that makes sense. And that's how the podcast actually would go. I don't know. Maybe I should listen to one of those and see actually how they actually used to do it. But I assume it's something along those lines. But Phil does take. He is known for taking notes with those pig scratches, if you want to call that writing.
Rather than every night I'm in here and you're that wouldn't make any sense. We'll figure it out. A lot of people have been asking us, so how is stuff going to work now that we live together? How will it affect
her body
things?
language kind of speaks to it too a little bit. It's kind of like a level of it's a small level of disappointment. Don't get me wrong, I won't try to exaggerate it to fit my narrative, but there is a small level of disappointment there, and that's a shame. That's a real shame.
Well, first of all, a lot of people, the big concern, oh my God, the stream times are going to change. Oh, Phil's going to stream it later or earlier, and it's going to be all screwed up. And the answer is no. In fact, what we've been doing, we've been waking up the same time that we wake up on the East Coast, only we're waking it up this local time. So perfect example, this morning we woke up around 9 a.m. Because East Coast time, that's 12 p.m., which is roughly the time we get up, around noonish. So we're actually maintaining the same schedule.
You waking up at noon? At noon? What the fuck, dude? Like, waking up at 12 o'clock on my days off, I've already wasted my day for the most part. Like, a large portion of my day is already gone. And this ass clown is waking up at noon? Holy shit. Now, keep in mind, though, when you're streaming on YouTube, back in those days, he's only streaming for like 4 hours. Keep in mind, there's only 4 hours worth of content up there, if you will, whether it was on YouTube or on Twitch, respectfully. So he wasn't working nearly as much as he said he was. If you really think about it, when you really break it all down. You know what I'm saying? Was he streaming for what, 4, maybe 6 hours? Maybe? Noon. Not waking up till noon. Come the fuck on, man.
Only it says it's a different time here, but for us, our bodies aren't feeling it, okay? So more than likely, we're going to have our first stream around when we usually would do it, 2 p.m. Eastern time. For us, it'll be what? 11 a.m., right? And then it'll go on until I take my break, which is what, 4 or 5 hours. So 11 to 3, 4 o'clock, we take a break, probably get a meal, you know.
So we're going to have normal people schedules? For
the most part, it will be pretty normal because when you think about it, let's say we get a meal for an hour and a half. So we resume streaming what? At, 5:36. And then I go to 8, 9 o'clock. And then now we have a few hours to stay together, you know, do whatever we need to do before we go to sleep. And we go to sleep at a reasonable hour, like 12, 1 o'clock. What do you mean, do whatever
we got to do?
Go to sleep at a reasonable time, 12, 1 o'clock? What kind of fucking twat are you? First things first. A good portion of his day is already being wasted. It's already being wasted. So we're streaming so yet again, his schedule really is no different than it is now. Because the pre-stream, and the pre-stream varied back then from 20, 30 minutes to up to an hour. And goddamn, people back then they didn't know how good they had it. Because I remember reading old forum posts, and you can actually read it in some of his comment section for some of those pre-streams that still exist. The ones that he didn't, you know what I'm saying, send to the dark realm. They said like 20, 30 minutes for a pre-stream was too long. Damn thing these days is damn near an hour. They can get up to 2. Holy shit. Anyway, that's first off and foremost. So yeah, he's still running the same scam schedule. He legit's only working 6 hours. Legit. And even then I'm pushing it on the level of generosity with that. But like 6 hours. What the fuck, ladies and gentlemen? What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh my god. So if we're streaming for 6 hours, ladies and gentlemen, where's the 12-hour workday that he tried to talk that bullshit about? And how the fuck are you having a 12-hour workday when he used to take 30-minute breaks and he has a 2 or 3 hour break in between streams? Jesus Christ.
Chores, cleaning, you know, anything, household stuff.
Okay, I'll hold my breath for you to start doing that.
She really doesn't believe that I'm going to do it. It's just funny.
You didn't do it. You didn't, and she called you out on it because she knew it, and that's why she got this sly look. That's why she got this little look when she's looking at the camera. She's like, "Trust me, he ain't doing jack shit." Cause she knew then, and she knew what her position was, and that's another thing that you can get, whether you want to respect that or not. You have to give that to her. Panda kind of understood when she made this move across country what her role was going to be. I think she wanted more than that. I think she hoped over time he would be more than that. But sadly, she knew what her role was going over there. But she thought that, okay, as long as he keeps doing what he's doing, keeps bringing in the bacon, no pun intended, cannibalism, life could still be good. But this idiot right here, too busy worrying about this is how you don't play, worried about taking detractors down, early detractor shit down, in detractor videos, and worried about some pathetic fucking image and shit, right? That didn't mean jack shit, that only hurt him more than everybody else, and then in turn ended up hurting his content, that it fucked everything all up. And then he wanted to maintain a lifestyle that he clearly couldn't keep up. He clearly couldn't keep up. Wow.
Did the laundry today? Who did the laundry?
Yeah, you wanted to.
But who did it?
You did, because you wanted to.
Exactly.
And our washer and dryer sing to us, just so everyone knows.
Yes, it does.
Well, first things first, you don't know how to do the laundry, Phil. You admitted that when Panda left. You admitted that you had to learn how to do laundry for the first time after Panda left. Because she wasn't there no more. 35 years old, ladies and gentlemen. He was 35 years old and he had to figure out how to use his washer. Holy shit, because he didn't know how to use it. Talk about it because you wanted to. No, asshole, because you didn't know how to.
Mm-hmm.
Plays happy music.
We have an LG washer and dryer. It's almost brand new. When they complete their cycles, they go boop, 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 and that's how it alerts you that your clothes is
Which you can hear it throughout the whole place now because we have no sound dampening.
Yes. So that's another good point that we should bring up. So
wait,
right
so
now,
you can hear the whole thing around the whole house because you have no sound dampening, which means, ladies and gentlemen,
when we go on those tirades about the vest streak, or about how I really need you guys' help financially right now, I really need your support, he's more than likely doing that when Kat isn't there, because Kat would be able to hear that. Now, that's a reach. That's a reach. But interesting nonetheless. And then, didn't he just clarify recently, at the time I'm recording this, that she works from, Kat, works from what? Thursday through Sunday? So now she has Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday off? Okay, so she picked up an extra day. Because I thought she was off from Monday through Thursday and worked Friday, Saturday, Sunday. But when she first got there, not when she first got there, but after she was there for a little while, she finally started working again. He made it sound like she was working around the clock. And then he made it sound like she was only off on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and she worked the rest of the week. Anyway, Kat's schedule he's usually always changing Kat's schedule up. He's trying to do it to throw people off. And since it's confirmed, like legit confirmed, that he reads Kiwi Farms, he knows what we know, and we already knew what he knew. So he's still trying to stay one step ahead of the law, basically. And he's failing miserably at it. Fun stuff all around, though.
Now, for this next week, no gameplay. I just want to make that clear. No gameplay. We can't do gameplay. There's nothing here. There's no consoles. You know what I mean? I have the internet, but as you can see, even the quality of this stream is very low because this laptop can't even really handle it. All right? And that's fine. What we're going to be doing is trying to set up the house as much as possible, getting
But
ready
it's not
for this
fine, though, because that's how you make your living. That's your business. So if you know that your laptop's not up to par and you're already dropping big money on getting a desktop, why wouldn't you buy another laptop to complement that? Because it's business related. It's for the business. You got to spend money to make money. It's a weird type of, it's weird. It's like a weird type of mindset to have. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're going to invest, if there's going to be things that you're going to invest in, you invest in your work and things that you need to help obviously make your job or your career easier and better. You invest in yourself, because that should be the first thing you should be investing in. And you should be, and then, you know, if you choose to, in limited quantities, depending on what you're doing, you invest in your hobby. Unless your hobby can make you money as well, then by all, don't go crazy, but, you know, there's nothing wrong with that as well. But this idiot right here just keeps doing everything ass fucking backwards. That makes no goddamn sense. At all. Which only explains why his fucking streams are as shit as they are now. You put $3,000 into a goddamn lemon, but you want to go ahead and command everything from a laptop that was already outdated at this point. It was already outdated when you moved over, when you were moving out there from Connecticut to Washington. It was already old, I should say. Because I think he bought it either open boxed or refurbished. He didn't even buy that damn thing brand new. Jesus Christ, man. Like I said, that's what happens when you don't have your priorities together.
Delivery on the 3rd. Mm-hmm. What we really need to get right now are rugs, because as you can hear right now, you hear this place sounds like a cave. Every room sounds like this, a huge echo, because we don't have anything in place. Now, once my stuff moves in here, you know, my computer desk, my TV and my TV stand, and you know, my other stuff that's going to be moving in, probably it won't sound as echoey. But downstairs, are you kidding me? Have you seen the height of the ceiling in our living room? It really sounds like we're living in a cave. So what we're going to try to do is get some rugs this week, and we've been looking around different furniture stores. We haven't really found anything great yet. We found one or two that we kind of liked, but it wasn't like, didn't blow you away, oh, I love it, I need it. And so we're probably going to be spending a lot of time this week trying to find stuff like that, the final furnishings before the furniture shows up, because you need that stuff on the floor before the furniture shows up. And other odds and ends. There really is not too much going on until the stuff starts getting delivered. Now that we've ordered everything. I mean, there are still things like, I need new shorts. My shorts don't fit me anymore. I need to buy new shorts. And, you know, things like that, that's not a big deal. You know, we can always go out and get stuff. You know, we have our pets now. If you guys didn't see last night, we did our first
give him the thumb right there, as you can see. Why didn't you buy new shorts before you left Connecticut, though? Like when you were doing your bucket list where you guys were driving around all your old haunts and
going all to all those different stores and so on and so forth. Why didn't you just buy new shorts and shit then? Fucking A, man. Whatever. All right, whatever. I'm just nitpicking at this point.
With the hamsters, and our hamsters are our new pets, and we have to get stuff for them, like somewhere to put them when we're cleaning their cage, like a little ball or you know, a house, something to put them in. They like fresh vegetables, so we're gonna get them like chopped cabbage and stuff like that. Maybe grape here or there, stuff like that.
Carrots, little carrot shreds.
Right. So maybe we'll do stuff like that from time to time. But for the most part, the major shopping is done outside of finding rugs. And then once all the furniture's in, all the stuff is installed, I'm up and running and streaming again, then it's time for the little things, right? So for example, our bedroom blinds are broken. I had to break them because they weren't working when we moved in. I could not get the blinds down. It was completely broken. And I had to take scissors and snip the freaking wires off of the blinds to get them to come down so we could have darkness in the bedroom. People weren't peeking in. And it's a pain in the ass, but I had to do it. There's little things around the house like that. There's a really annoying spider in our garage that's real big. He's like this big, and he's a big-ass black butt. I'm hoping it's not like a black widow. But I sprayed the hell out of the thing with cleaners, and he keeps coming back, so we're going to have to get bug spray to kill him. You know, little things like that, right? Little things around the house that we need to
What the fuck, dude? Just grab a newspaper or grab 2 magazines or some shit. Go out there and just squash his ass. What the fuck? Jesus Christ. But what he's not telling you about, though, in that walkthrough, because I feel like they could have fixed that blinds if he was just a little bit more patient, but semantics, is the fucking water spot that they had in their closet. They had like some leakage and shit. Eventually that ended up getting fixed, but they had like this massive fucking leak up there in their, I think it's in their master bedroom closet, where they had like really, really ugly water damage in there. And that didn't get addressed for a good amount of time. There was a while until that shit actually got squared away. Yet again, your priorities.
Oh, so when I say I see a spider, oh, it's a little baby spider. You see one, oh, well, you know, it could be dangerous.
Yeah, I like that. Called you out. She called you a bitch. She called you a bitch. Look at Phil. Having to take it. That'd make a great screenshot. God damn. I'm telling you. Oh. Panda would be fun. Panda would be fun. Jesus Christ. Oh, Phil. What's wrong, Phil? You're the man of the house. You're the king of the castle. That's your man cave. Tell her what's what. Go ahead, Phil. Tell her that your life is much more valuable than hers. I know she's this fragile species called woman, and that she needs to be taken care of all times, right, Phil? Because that's what you think. So just let her know what's what, right? That's what the situation is, right, Phil? Tell her off, right, Phil? Let her know that, you know, you're the one who's paying for everything, so, you know, what you need to get done gets done, and for her, she can wait. Right, Phil? Right, Phil? Right.
Spider today when you told me to kill it.
Yes, you did.
There was a big hairy brown spider in the living room, and I squished him. I didn't want to, but I had to because he was in the living room. And
why you gotta make it sound like that? I mean, this evil.
You're not
bug
evil.
killer.
You're afraid of bugs.
I'm not afraid.
So are you. Wait a second. First off, you admitted that you went ahead and killed the spider, but you just admitted to us that you didn't want to. Why not? And then the one in the fucking garage, he's been roaming around that bitch. He's roaming around the chop shop, and you don't want to take care of that because you think it might be poisonous. Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ.
Just spiders. Just at this point, spiders and ones that like, have really freaky bodies.
All right, fair enough. Some people just asked in the stream chat, will we be painting? The answer is yes. But not immediately.
Aww.
First of all, this office I think is fine. I like the color of this office.
Actually, the office used to be orange because over there you can see a stripe of orange on the very edge. They painted it.
I think the whole house was orange, if you want my honest opinion.
Yeah, it was.
Weird people.
Well, except for the living room. The living room was mustard and tomato.
Oh. Couldn't be any weirder than the people who live there now. And keep in mind, just for the record, by the way, his parents actually painted that house, essentially, not him. You know what I'm saying? I think Panda helped paint her room. She definitely picked out the color, but essentially his parents painted that house and fixed the toilet. So keep that in mind, Mr. we had some weird people live in this house. Yeah, weird people who had to fly their parents across country to paint their house, clean up their outside, paint I think they painted outside too, but they cleaned out the external, the external of the house because they almost had like a fire issue, or they could have potentially had a fire issue with some brush that was starting to move up, that was starting to grow up into the exhaust of the fireplace. What else did they do? They fixed his toilets. They straightened a lot of shit out for them. His parents did a lot. They did a lot.
Terrible. That's terrible. But so yeah, I think this room is fine, especially for filming purposes, to have a nice clean backdrop. And like I said, I will be getting eventually a nice green screen setup here. This will be perfect. However, your office is like hideous orange.
It's the only room that didn't get painted,
which
is
so bad.
Bullshit.
It's so bad.
They spent the money to paint the living room, dining room, kitchen, hallways, obviously, the stairway, the hallways, the bedrooms. Every single fucking room except my office, which was it's smaller than this.
And it's so bad. It's 2 different colors in there too.
Yeah,
because
obviously, like they had to repaint one wall or something, and the color faded, or they got the wrong color. It's so fucking hideous.
Freaking bad.
The hamsters are complaining about it.
So we will be eventually painting. That's like the last thing, though. Like, you know what I mean? We got to get the furniture in. We got to get settled in. I'm working. Everything's functional. Then we say, okay, I got some spare time on a weekend. Let's get some paint in here. And by the way, there is extra paint in the garage. They left extra paint for us and rollers and everything. So we actually have the supplies we need to paint it already. I don't think we even have to go buy anything. Just one weekend when we have the time, we got to buy the plastic, put it down, cover the carpet, clear everything out of there, paint the
I think they didn't even need to do that. I think they had tarps. But it wasn't just that. They not only did they leave them a couple of things of paint, brand new brushes and rollers, paint tins. I think they had brand new tools in there too that they left them, and I think Phil was talking about throwing that shit away. They left them a bunch of stuff. Like the previous owners left them a lot of shit, and he could have utilized and he didn't. Or at least he said in the video he was gonna toss a lot of that shit out or throw it away or whatever. But we're talking about I think they had like brand new tools out there too. I'd have kept all that shit. The fuck. But then again, I know how to use tools though. Phil don't. My dad actually spent time with me, so it is what it is.
Watch. Yeah. Well, remember I said I wanted to paint. You're like, no, we don't paint.
You're not. How are you gonna reach up there?
Oh, now it's a height issue.
How are you gonna reach
now
that?
It's a height issue.
How will you reach it?
A ladder? A step ladder? I don't know. That's one of the basic things. Aren't you like 5'12"? That shit always makes you 5'12". That shit always cracks me up when he used to say that shit. He don't say it now though because people make fun of him because he sounds stupid. But this idiot right here used to be like, yeah, I'm 5'12". Alright, you're 5'12", buddy. Sure. Gotcha. But anyway, seriously though, a ladder, a step ladder, is it really that difficult, Phil? Really?
You know what? Bite me.
Okay.
That slow motion jump was actually kind of funny.
Yeah, one person could not paint the whole room. Like, one person would have to help the other, And
I'm not painting it white. It's not going to be fucking white.
Oh, okay. Then we'll get a different color.
Gonna be
That's
blue.
fine. That's nice. Mm-hmm. Nice blue.
Mm-hmm. It's going to be blue.
So we do have plans to improve things, to paint things, but our philosophy, get it functional first. Because again, the earlier that I could start working again, the earlier I start making my money. I mean, right now I took a look at the DSP gaming channel, and quite honestly, it's getting very lower views. But that's because there's no new content. There hasn't been new content for a week, and there won't be new content for probably a full other week until I get all my stuff set up and working. So,
which gives you an idea of how deep he still stays in his analytics. You know what I'm saying? Because as a partner, he has access to all of that, just like on Twitch. So he knows exactly what kind of money he's making and what he isn't. You know what I'm saying? Don't ever let him think, for the few DSP fans that might be here, to go ahead and spy for your snort and savior. He knows exactly what he's making. He knows exactly what he has coming in. And a lot of what his begging does, outside of being his primary source of income, is he's just trying to pad his pockets for whatever reason. But it's really just padding. He knows what he has coming in and what he don't. And he always has. He's always been knee deep in his analytics, which is funny for someone who spends so much time
looking at his views, looking at the trends to try to better his chances and playing the tag algorithm on YouTube and still failing at it, which is weird because he could have, back in 2014, right now, or right here, I should say, he could have talked the Wings of Redemption, and Wings could have gotten that straightened up because, not to be a dick, but I'll throw some Call of Duty lore at you for a minute. For any of you guys who know who 402 Thunder is, Call of Duty YouTuber. He did Destiny for a while. Views weren't nearly as great, but that's semantics. He had a deal. He was sponsored, or he is sponsored by Scuff Controllers, if I remember correctly. And he had worked out a deal where every time he wins a game of Fortnite, he would actually give away a free Scuff. I think he did that once or twice, and then he just stopped playing Fortnite. Whatever. He said he could never get any good games. The point is, he's a Call of Duty YouTuber. He's been around for a very, very long time. He, I wouldn't say he reached his peak, because that'd be dishonest. But he stopped growing, basically. His channel stopped growing. And I don't know when that was. That was probably like 2000, somewhere between 2010 and probably 2012, maybe 2013, something like that. Probably 2010 or 11, because Black Ops 2 hadn't come out yet. Anyway, he was having a hard time growing. Basically, he wasn't stagnant yet, but he was having a hard time growing. So he goes to Wings of Redemption, or Jordy, and he's like, "Hey man, I need some help with this. I feel like my channel's kind of stopped growing, and I need some help. I need a way to try to turn things around." And so Jordy put him onto the algorithm, how to utilize the algorithm to your advantage. He laid out the whole situation to him, at least as far as I was told. He laid out the situation to him, and over a period of time, because it takes you a while to kind of get into the algorithm like that, it started to pick up. It started to pick up and it started to move. Now, all those years later, Thunder hasn't hit 1 million subs yet, which he should have, but he hasn't hit 1 million subs yet, but he's in a better position than he was. It is what it is. But it just goes to show that in a very small period of time, if you are savvy enough, you can turn things around. There are little things that you can do, not just in your video, not just social media, not just even in a form of politics, because there is a level of politics to this bullshit, that you can do small things to kind of help boost your viewership, boost your audience, and boost your reach, or extend your reach. And that's one of the things that Wings did for him. You know what I mean? Wings did that for a lot of people. But that was a perfect example there. But then again, that ended up kind of getting Wings in some hot water later, because then the whole situation with Woody's gamer tag, with the situation with his son Colin, and then they said that 402 Thunder had said something or had advocated for something that he really didn't. 402 Thunder did not advocate for the bullshit that he got accused of, and then that turned into a whole mess in itself. If I ever decide to, I'll go over that video so you guys can actually, I'll give you the full story, but just to give you guys an example.
That I was fully expecting. I do want to say thank you to anyone who did go back and started watching older content, because that's basically what's keeping me alive right now. If I had 2 weeks with nothing, that
Speaking of which, this goes back to what I said before about he plans poorly. If he, now granted, he didn't know he was going to be out of pocket for 2 weeks. I can understand that, but this is somebody who records everything and cuts it all up into smaller pieces and then uploads it in bulk. You're telling me this idiot right here couldn't spread out at least a week plus worth of content just to be on the safe side? This idiot legit thought that he was going to move into his new house, it'd be all set up and ready, and he could be streaming and putting content on the internet legit within days. And even though there's nothing completely wrong with that, if you have a plan, you should also plan for the worst case scenario. And he didn't do that. And so he suffers.
But that's not what's happening. There is some activity on DSP Gaming, and I would say that if you guys are bored, right? Gee, what did Phil play at a time when I was busy and I didn't watch stuff? Because it's all there. It's all there on demand. It's all available. So, anything that you would like to mention in particular, or that you like about the house, you don't like about the house, that you want to bring up?
Of all the fucking rooms, though, to not paint my fucking office, the one room that was going to be my little cocoon.
Also, our den, they didn't paint either, and that thing's just as ugly. You know, it's the same. I think it's almost the same shade of orange.
My office
Your
is
den?
orange.
I wonder if he means his nook. Do you guys have a den? You don't have a solarium, so... let me think. Let me think real fast about... I don't know if they have a den. They might. I don't think so. Or not in what you would think the contemporary concept of what a den is, but... Whatever, semantics. I'm thinking he's talking about that nook, but whatever.
It's not even a nice orange. It's like fucking radioactive peaches and oranges splooge. It's horrible.
Oh,
it's
honey.
horrible. The hamsters hate it. I can tell. Cinnamon looks at it and says, "Ooh."
Oh no, they love it. I don't know what you're talking about.
No, they don't.
So anything else, or I think what we can do is open it up to Q&A with the stream chat, because I know some people probably have a lot of questions about the place, what we think about the place, what are our plans for the place, yada yada yada.
That is also weird that they put tile in the living room. That's pretty weird.
Yeah. The one thing I can answer before we even get started. People have been messaging me non-stop on Twitter. Phil, did you hear that YouTube is going to do 60 frames per second videos? Well, okay. Number one, my question is when? When does that go into effect? That would be nice to know. No one's really giving me a date, right? Number two, would I love to do 60 frames per second video? Absolutely. For certain games like Street Fighter 4, Call of Duty, and other first-person shooters. Even some games recently like Watch Dogs on PS4 have had a higher frame rate than the 30 frame per second standard that YouTube runs at, and they would look a lot better if you could see videos in that resolution. Problem is, my current setup will not do it. My current setup will not record 60 frames per second. I try, and it doesn't work. It only, even though it says it's 60 frames, when I go to play it back, it only plays 30 frames per second. So what I'm going to need is a new PC. You know what I mean? A new PC. Probably I'll end up getting a better monitor to make sure that the refresh rate is correct and everything, that I'm seeing the 60 frames per second. And go from there. That's something that as soon as
I think that
all
was the
stuff-
first snort of the video. Unless I missed something. It's possible. It's very possible. But I think that was the first snort of the video.
Here, my setup is working. The furniture is here. The new car is here. That's kind of the next thing that I want to work on, is getting a new PC. Because let's face it, right now I cannot do 1080p. I tried it. I can't do it. My PC can't handle it. And I cannot do 60 frames per second. Now, I'd like to be able to do one or the other, or both. A lot of people are telling me is that it's not available. I don't know where you're going.
Checking the laundry.
Oh, okay. We have laundry.
I mean,
going
she
right
is
now,
doing
by
the
way.
laundry. And I am right. Okay, so the layout of the room is just as I said it is. So that right there on the right is his closet. No. Well, what it would be, what is my right, I should say, is the closet. My left is his door. Is the door to the actual hallway itself. And Catherine's room is across the hall? Because it comes around like a U, I think. Because if you come straight out of his room, you have to walk down that hallway and go downstairs. If I remember how he has his that art gallery nonsense that he set up after Panda left, that's how the house is set up. Yeah, his room's a lot smaller than I thought it was. I mean, like I said, not too small to where he can't have a green screen. Don't get me wrong, but it is a lot smaller than. It's a little bit smaller than I thought it was. You know what? Since he's on Kiwi Farms anyway, there is somebody up there. There might be two people, but there has to be at least two people up there. But I think it may be just one person who has done a layout. Of Phil's office and rearranged it for him just so it would flow better. You know what I'm saying? Just so it would work better. And I know he's seen it, and it's not even that serious, meaning that it wouldn't require much for him to change. It wouldn't require him to change too much to make the room more functional. He should consider actually doing that. He should legit actually consider doing it, because obviously that person did enough research to actually figure out, because that kind of threw me off, because like I said, it's my right hand side, but it'd be Phil's left. I was wondering why they wanted that to be eliminated and then move that further out. Now I understand. because they knew exactly how small that wall is. That makes a whole lot more sense now. Good shit. Good shit. Okay, that makes a lot more sense though. But then look at his carpet like this too. His carpet don't look like that no more. It's a shade darker now. But then again, he barely vacuums, so it is what it is.
But yeah, we're right now. I can't even do either. I would love to do both, but what a lot of people have been contacting me and telling me is that you can't. Like, there's no commercial capture card that can easily do 1080p and 60 frames per second. Then again, how many games are rendering at 1080p? That's another thing to say. I don't know. What's rendering at 1080p? Okay. So there you go. I would love to do it. I would love to do it immediately. I can't. I won't have the capability when I come back in about a week to do gameplay. But I would love to upgrade to it. I would love to get to it if I can. But it's all going to depend on, can I get that new PC right away? What is it I need in the new PC? And by the way, I said this on Twitter, and I'll say it again. No, I am not building my own PC. I'll repeat that. I'm not doing it because, number one, I don't have the know-how to do it anymore, and I certainly don't have the time to learn all the changes and everything to PC.
I don't think he ever built one anyway. I think that was just some bullshit way to try to it was another way to try to get himself included into a community that he legit had no place in, if you will. You know what I'm saying? Like, did he play PC games? I could probably believe that because I'm sure he had friends who did. Has he ever built one? He may have watched a friend of his build one. He may have passed him a screwdriver or something at one time or another. He may have put a component in at one time or another. Did he build it? No. I think his building know-how with a PC, at least back then, and certainly now, was as limited to when Review Tech USA's father built his PC. So keep that in mind. Fucking amazing. That was an old video too. That was a really old video. But yeah, I think, because if I remember correctly in the Review Tech video, he sounded like he was out of breath just putting the power supply in. But his dad is essentially the one who put that damn thing together for him. Whatever. It's alright. It's alright. It's not... Dude, there are YouTube videos that'll literally walk you through step by step to how to build a PC. You can even contact the content creator to give you the resources if you don't want to just use Google, because Google is your friend, on what parts to buy, what are compatible with each other. It's super fucking easy. There are forums out there and websites that will literally... You could put in what you're looking for, and it'll build a PC for you. And then you can take, and it'll give you the layout and the specs for everything. And then you can go to either buy the pieces, your parts yourself, or you can go to a custom builder online. There's plenty of them. Check Twitter, or just a custom PC manufacturer. Yet again, check Twitter. There's a shitload of them. And they'll build it to your specifications. It's not hard. It's easier now to build the PC than it was in 2014 for sure. But semantics.
Over the past several years. Number two, because last time I tried to do it, a lightning bolt hit a pole outside, fried my PC, and there was $4,000.
You didn't try to build a PC. What he's trying to say, the last time he didn't think about what he's saying. The last time he had built a PC, or built a few PCs, he had them downstairs on a landline, or on landlines, so he could play like Unreal Tournament with his friends. He said he was off at a tournament or something along the lines. Lightning hit his house, fried his PC or PCs, and he was so pissed off that he thought he was going to spite God and be like, I'm not building a PC ever again. It's a freak accident. It happens. Did you guys not have surge protectors? But then again, it directly hit his house, allegedly. So, I mean, even then, who could say? It was 50-50, I guess. But after that, he uses that as a justification to not build PCs anymore. Because lightning hit his fucking PC, or hit his house, and fried his PC, and he was screwed. Well, idiot, lightning can hit your house now and still do the exact same damn thing. Are you not going to buy another PC again? Like, he's got to think before he talks when it comes to situations like that.
Out the window, and it was like, what the fuck? So I would rather buy, even if it costs a lot of money, buy a PC that's pre-built, that I know out of the box should be working, and I could get...
Keywords should be working. That was ominous.
Said If you go to CyberPower or iBuild, there's like these different websites that you can go to, and you pick the components you want. And then they just slap them together to make this monstrous PC for you, and you don't have to build anything yourself. I think the biggest problem is going to be getting an internal capture card that can do 1080p and 60 frames per second, and having all the equipment hooked up that can handle that as well. I don't know. I've not done zero research. Right now, I'm busy with the move. I'm not concerned about the technicalities of it or anything. If anyone knows about this, is in the know about it, what I would probably say your best bet if you want to help me out, post up on my forums, thekingofhate.com, and post up there and make a thread about it. And if you make a thread, I can read that at my convenience when I'm back in about a week with all my equipment working, and try to figure out how the hell to do it. Okay.
Yet again, just goes to show what kind of scumbag he is, that even back in 2014, somebody else do the legwork. Somebody else go to my King of Hate vlogs that people didn't know how toxified and exposed that forum was until now, or well, in the last couple of years, I should say. But back then, they didn't know exactly how much information Phil had on all of them in the backlog. Yet again, have all these people do the footwork, have all these people do the research. I'm too damn busy. You know what I'm saying? I'm too damn busy. So you guys be the worker bees, you guys be employees, and you guys go out there and get this shit done for me. And then your payoff is, oh, I'll have great content that you guys can click the ads on over and over and over again so I can make all my money. That's essentially how he ran it. And that's no different than what he does now. Oh, well, I don't know a lot about that. Why don't you guys just send me an email? Or why don't you guys hit me up on Twitter? Or you guys can go to my forums. Oh, and I'm not going to your forums, so, all right, well, just hit me up on Twitter then, or email me, and I'll get around to you. Because he knows no one wants to go to his fucking website anymore, because everybody knows how the website plays out now. Everybody understands how he uses that shit against people. No one wants to deal with it. The only people that are over there now are people who are already exposed and don't give a fuck.
So, that's about it. I guess I'll close the door here. I guess what we'll do now, I would like to open up the stream while my girlfriend checks the laundry. Open up the stream to Q&A. If you guys have any questions about the new place, about how things are going to work, go right ahead and shoot here on the stream chat. Keep in mind that, unfortunately, the stream chat is very delayed. It's actually even more delayed today than I think it has been recently, and I don't know if that's because my stream setup is through my laptop now or what. But I'm going to wait now. I'm going to see if there could be questions. Shoot them. Shoot them over in the stream chat, okay? And we'll go from there. So let's see what people have to ask. The first question is from... Oh, the first question is, do the hamsters have names? Yes, if you watched the videos last night, you would have known that we did name them by the end of yesterday. Their names are Cinnamon and Raisin. Cinnamon, it has a darker stripe on her head. She's more active than Raisin. She loves running in the wheel. She actually has come up and licked both Leanna and I. Raisin seems more like the homebody, the one that likes to nest, to eat, to kind of keep herself a little bit more. Although she does come out, she's definitely not as active as Cinnamon is right now. That could change. I mean, keep in mind, they're only a few weeks old, but we'll see what happens in time with the hamsters. Okay. Someone says, when will I open the mystery bag in the garage? I don't know. If you saw my garage walkthrough video, there's a lot of stuff in that garage that I don't know what the hell it is. Gloves. It looks like someone who used to put their hands in industrial strength chemicals.
Dexter?
There's 1,000 pairs of thick gloves. And just all kinds of shit in that garage. I'm gonna...
Those gloves, well, I was gonna say you could use, but in actuality Panda could use, to clean up stuff around the house. There's a lot of people who use common house cleaner and don't want that shit used on their hands because either A, their hands are sensitive, or B, they just don't want chemicals on their hands, so on and so forth. You're getting into a day and age, ladies and gentlemen, on top of that, and people who work on their car. You know what I'm saying? I don't fucking... when I work on my car, dude, you know what I'm saying, whatever I need to do, especially when it comes to my engine, I don't work without gloves anymore. I really like wearing black rubber gloves. I don't know, a friend of mine used to do it, and I used to be I don't want to do that shit because I like the hands-on feeling of it all. But after doing it a couple times, I don't mind it. You know what I'm saying? I don't mind it.
Shit, you see people now who do like mukbangs or mukbangs, however you want to pronounce that. Especially like if they're eating like hot wings and shit, who wear gloves now when they do that, just so when you pull it off, you don't have to worry about the enzymes of the sauce being on your hands. And a lot of the time when you wash your hands, no matter how diligent you are, it doesn't always come off. It could be on there for a while. Anyway, the point being is that they're plastic gloves or they're rubber gloves or whatever. They have a lot of versatility to it. There's a lot of ways you can use it. So, I mean, yet again, he's being a dick speculating about all that bullshit. If someone bought his house and went through and if he left stuff behind, Phil would be mad as fuck if people rummaged through the shit that he left behind and assumed stuff about it. But then, like I said, Phil exposed these people's mail and shit and saw that these people owed back taxes or whatever. So Phil don't give a fuck about anybody. There's no level of respect to it. He looks at it as, oh, well, this is my house now, and if you weren't responsible, then I'm gonna expose you and I'm gonna have a laugh about it. Okay, then fair enough, Phil. You filed for bankruptcy because you had all these credit cards. It's public information. It's public domain. So if we want to laugh at it, we have the right to do so. Same concept. If you had taken care of your responsibilities, you wouldn't have had to be in that problem and it wouldn't have gone public. Right?
I'm going to wait till, like I said, let's get everything set up and working. Let's get the house furnished. And then when I have, oh, it's a Saturday and it's a slow day, then I'll start checking that stuff out. Jealousy put the chat in sub mode to ask me if I brought any capture devices with me. The answer is no, and I do not plan on capturing anything until my equipment shows up. So please remove the chat from sub mode so other people can ask questions. Are we going to attend any 4th of July events while here in Seattle? We haven't talked about it. I guess we should look up, right? We have not had a chance to even look into it. I guess that would be something nice to do, right? So maybe if they have fireworks or whatever in Seattle, because we don't know. However, we haven't looked into it. Quite honestly, our stuff is being delivered the day before on July 3rd. We may end up being incredibly busy July 4th, but maybe we'll spend the day setting stuff up and then that night go out and see fireworks. I don't know. I guess we'll have to look that up. We've got a little bit more than, we got a week, right? We got a week to look that up. So that's this Friday. Yeah, 4th of July is Friday, so we'll have to look that up.
Oh, well, here's a nice one. Phil, is Leanna pregnant? She looks it. How about go fuck yourself?
I wish I caught that screenshot when she flicked that shit off. That make a good screenshot though too. Yo, they used to love popping shots at her. They really did. They used to love taking shots at Leanna. Holy shit. It'd be funny if well, she wouldn't be able to do it on Panda's channel now because it doesn't exist. But there are people who archived or who have archived some of Leanna's stuff, and then Tevin has like 2 videos, or maybe it's 3 streams, I should say, where he actually went through like all of Panda's vlogs. Maybe Cat's watched that and been like, you know what? I definitely don't need to be out there in public. It's not worthwhile. Holy shit.
People are just idiots. People have been saying that for, oh, she looks pregnant. What are you talking? Yeah, look at, oh my god.
I'm so immensely fat.
People are idiots. Just like people who still say I'm fat. Like, I've lost so much weight. Like, what are you talking about?
Oh, that's funny. I lost so much weight, but then when Panda left him and Cat came in, because he just did this recently. He just recently talked about all this, how he had lost like almost 20 pounds and whatnot, and he was bloated and he was all fat because he was eating all unhealthy, and now all of a sudden, which one is it, Phil? You fat or you skinny? He's like a weird fat skinny, to be honest. Or as I like to call him, the malnourished potato vampire. Because that's what he looks like. He kind of looks like a skinned Mr. Potato Head, but he certainly looks like a malnourished vampire. He's a fucking mess physically. A fucking mess. Jesus Christ.
Do not worry. Neither of us are fat or pregnant. Well, I hope you're not pregnant. I mean.
Someone wants to know if we're going to try the Doritos
now,
Locos.
Holy shit. Now we know that there wasn't a whole lot of sex going on in that relationship when they moved from the East Coast to the West Coast. Like, sex kind of died off. Certainly not as much as she felt as she would have wanted. So when she said that hopefully you're not pregnant, and she looked at him, I wonder if she was going to take another shot and say, well, it's not like either one of us are getting a lot of anything anyway. But she didn't. So you can give Panda some brownie points on that one. Standing by her pig.
Because she certainly could have let shit out the bag. She could have embarrassed them, but she didn't.
Tacos at Taco Bell, now that we have a Taco Bell locally, and my answer, quite honestly, is yes. I will be trying all of the local fast food. We've got Taco Bell, we've got Arby's, we've got In-N-Out, we've got Wendy's, we've got Carl's Jr. a little bit further away. We've got, what was that other one? Shit. Pizza Hut is right down the street. We've got there's a Taco Time. I think I saw Del Taco. Pretty much any of the fast foods that you can think of are near here. So when we get around to it, yeah, we will be checking those out, especially when they have new products we see advertised on TV. DSP Tries It is going to have a whole new life breathed into it here in Seattle, because literally every restaurant you can think of is nearby, which is pretty crazy.
Now, isn't that ironic? They bring up Taco Bell. He's super excited and then goes off about the future plans for DSP Tries It. Panda's like, whatever. You fast forward 6 years later, Kat loves Taco Bell and feels like, Taco Bell, well, I guess, because Kat wanted it, but, Isn't that funny? It's amazing how everything goes full circle.
Oh, sweetie. Ew, Taco Bell.
All right, looking for more questions. When are you guys going to cook? That's a fair question.
That's a great question. When are you gonna cook?
I will cook.
Yeah, when are you gonna cook, Phil? Oh shit! Get him.
Once all our stuff is delivered, once it's all packed up, because here's the thing: all my frying pans, my pots, my pans, all that stuff that I would use to cook is being moved right now. Once it shows up, I am going to plan a big event one Saturday. It'll be slow Saturday, obviously, when hopefully there's nothing going on. And I'm going to make a pot of my family recipe Italian sauce with meat, meatballs, sausage, all cooked into the sauce. It's a family recipe that's been in my family for generations. The thing is, we do it the real way, right? We grind the tomatoes by hand. We cook the garlic and toss it in there, and we season all day.
Now it's
we make the meatballs. I'm talking about my family, sweetie.
Yeah.
We make the meatballs and everything, and we do it by hand, and it takes all day. It's literally a project that takes all day. So what I may do is take like a Saturday when there's nothing going on, and okay, now, I'm gonna make this.
Like I said, I'm gonna actually get all those videos together, and I'll put them all together, upload that. And then I'll probably end up, and then I will definitely go over one where I actually talk over it and you see it. The disappointment on Panda's face when she bit into that meatloaf. It was the day they made that sauce, they made meatball subs, or he likes calling them grinders, whatever. They made meatball sandwiches that day. Maybe if they were sausage, she would have liked it better. But anyway, but they were burnt meatballs too about that. Jesus Christ, he fucked that whole process up. I can't wait to go over that because he fucked that whole shit up. Anyway, they made meatball subs, and I distinctly remember when she took that first bite. It was like one or two chews, and the disappointment was so apparent on her face. She was like, "Oh my Christ, what is this? Oh my God, it's so hurtful," and put the damn thing down. Like she put it back down on her plate and was like, "Oh." But then when he put the camera back on her, and like she was, he was like, "Well, what'd you think of it?" And she was like, "This is the most sexual meatball sandwich I ever had." And I think the reason why that was is she said that was like her first meatball sandwich that she had ever had, or maybe it was her first homemade meatball sandwich she ever had. And he was like, "You never had a meatball sandwich before?" And she's like, "Hello, I'm not Italian." And I remember that sticking out my head, being like, "I'm not Italian either, and I've had meatball sandwiches before. What the fuck? Like, what kind of logic is that to have?" And Phil actually co-signed to it. He was like, "Well, yeah, I guess that's true." What? Like, what the fuck does that mean? I'm not Asian either, and I love fucking Chinese food or Asian food in general, actually. Especially like Thai, Cambodian. Like, I've had some fucking amazing Asian dishes, dude. Goddamn, I've had some great food. I've had some great food, Italian food too, and I'm not Italian either, as well as other things. But the point being is that the fact that he co-signed to that dumb shit
was stupid. The fact that she thought that was even a reasonable answer was stupid. But more importantly than both of those things, when she bit into that sandwich for the first time and she tasted that burnt, probably tasteless, flavorless fucking meatballs, that Kool-Aid sauce on that slightly toasted bread. Oh my God, her face dropped. I can't wait until we go over that, because the disappointment on that girl's face was amazing. Oh my Christ. It was amazing watching that. Oh, I've never felt so sorry for somebody eating food ever. Well, I have, but not like that. Holy shit.
Sauce, and then as it simmers, go play a stream. Like, oh, I'm going to play some Street Fighter. Play for an hour. Oh, gotta take a break. Go take a break, stir the sauce. Go back, play more Street Fighter. Go back, stir the sauce. That could be like a perfect thing to do on a Saturday, and I've wanted to do that, but I never had a reason to, because when I make sauce, you make a lot of it, you know? And I'm not gonna eat sauce for 2-3 months straight. Now that I actually live with my girlfriend, we can share it, and we can use the sauce not only to make things like spaghetti and meatballs, other pastas, right? You can also make like a meatball grinder, sausage
I don't like
grinder.
grinders or meatballs.
What about sausage? You like Italian sausage?
Yes, I do.
There you go. Nice sausage. You know, you like a sausage grinder. I think you would. Yeah, sauce. You like some nice Italian sausage, right? You love it. The flavor's delicious. So yeah. So you can make multiple meals and dishes with Italian sauce, and that's really what we'll be looking to do.
But that's a stupid thing to say though too, because I wouldn't want to eat that for months on end and whatnot, because it's just me. But now that my girlfriend's here, then yada yada yada. He could have done all that though when he lived at the condo, because John came by every weekend or every other weekend, so they could have made they could have made like meatball grinders and shit with that sauce, or what I'm saying, like there were plenty of options. He's just lazy. At the end of the day, he's just fucking lazy, because there was plenty of times and plenty of options for him to do that. The fuck, dude. Lazy piece of shit.
Now, other meals are going to be, further down the pipeline as we get enough dishes, enough, utensils and things to cook. Right now, I have nothing like that. It's all coming. When it all shows up and we're all set up in the kitchen, then we can go shopping. And by the way, even that, the supermarket is less than a block away. We can shoot right over there, get fresh veggies, fresh fruits, meats from the deli, fish, and we can learn all these new dishes that we can cook. But we can't do that till the stuff shows up. So that's coming. It's in process, but we can't do it yet. Okay.
That's another thing too that I was surprised that neither one of these guys thought about, was investing in like a deep freezer or a storage freezer, if you will. And there's a Costco. He has to drive a little ways out for it. I think it's like 40. It might be like 30 or 40 minutes. And then go to a Costco and buy a lot of those meats. You can buy your cheeses. You can buy a lot of that stuff in bulk and then freeze it for when you need it, which would be cheaper over the long run. Why not do any of that? But anyway, that would require forethought, and he didn't have that.
Asking what happened to my dog. Well, we decided to eat the dog.
But yeah, she was delicious. That first night, we were a little hungry, and we took care of it.
Yep.
No.
Yeah.
All right, you want to tell them what really happened?
What really happened is she's staying back at the apartment with Chi-Chi and my mom because, A, she's young. She's only 3. So she's still incredibly hyper and incredibly mentally immature, but
right.
she's kind of a dummy anyway.
She's hard to control, let's face it.
Yeah, she's so nutty.
She doesn't listen. She runs around, she will eat stuff. She's eaten your shoes, she's eaten your equipment before.
Oh.
She would be too much, especially in a place like this where we're just trying to get set up. That to have a dog running around eating everything, no way. It wouldn't work.
Plus,
right?
she doesn't know how to go up and down stairs properly. She likes to hit her head on the stairs when she goes up them.
But also, like Leanna said, she's only 3, and those 3 years she's lived with another dog, and there was no way that we were ready to take on the task of 2 dogs at once. It's enough that we're living together for the first time. Mm-hmm. We're taking on this responsibility of a house together. A dog, could it be in the future? I mean, I don't want to let it be I love dogs. I'm a animal lover. I mean, we got 2 hamsters here. We've only been here not even a week.
And the next door neighbor has a cute dog.
The next door neighbor has a cute little dog named Leo. This is a very dog-friendly facility, but I didn't want to rush into, let's just do it. Now you got dogs you can't control in a new house, and it would be too much. So there's a possibility that in the future maybe we'll get something like that. For now, I think a nice starter pet like the hamsters is a great idea. You know,
I like them, and Cinnamon likes me. Cinnamon gives me little kisses.
Yes. All right, let's see any more questions.
Phil, have you been in the attic in the house?
No. For those who did watch the vlogs, we do have an attic. The attic is in the master bedroom. There is a hatch leading into the attic. I've not been up there. We don't have a ladder yet. Eventually I'm going to buy one, but we don't have... The thing is, and a lot of people don't know this about a townhouse where there's like a condo association like we have. I am not responsible for anything outside the house. Anything within the confines of the house, including the electrical, the piping, things like that, I am. But the rooftop of the house, the greenery around the house, I'm not responsible for at all. So really, when you think about it, there's not that many reasons why I would need to buy a ladder, okay? One reason would probably be if the light bulb blows out in the living room with those super high ceilings. And the other reason would probably be if I need to go into the attic. Some people have asked, will I ever go in there? There's a strong possibility one day I'll go in there. But again, that's something that you think about way, way, way down the line. You don't think about that, oh, right away, I'm going to go just buy a ladder and jump into the freaking attic for no reason. I got more than enough stuff I'm taking care of right now. So
Yeah, again, it sounds like you're being lazy because eventually you're going to need to go up there because, well, depending on when the last time insulation was put down, he may have to reapply insulation. If he ever has a major leak and whatnot from the roof, he's going to have to at least go up there and see at least what the damage is like so he can report that to the homeowners association. There are some tangible reasons for that. You know what I mean? And that, and just out of curiosity, you have a crawl space or you have an attic and you don't want to go up there and see what's up there? Hey, shit. Have pandas be right there under holding the ladder and shit. Grab a couple of fucking flashlights and get up there and see. If there's nothing up there, there's nothing up there. You know what I mean? Shit. It's not The Grudge or anything. I mean, fuck.
Someone asked what our favorite part about Seattle is so far.
I don't know, because we didn't go there yet. I mean, we were in Seattle in April, and the city itself, you know, we had a lot of fun touring it and tourism-wise, but we haven't been there yet. We're actually to the south of Seattle in a suburb. There's many different suburbs around Seattle, and we're to the south of it. Now, if you mean, I guess in general, what they really mean by that question is, what do we like most about being here?
Everything.
Well, let's see. What is your favorite things, and then I'll say mine.
The people are nicer, even though some of them are kind of stupid and they don't always have their turn signal on. The traffic is almost nothing. The weather is better. The sales tax a little better, but everything else seems to be cheaper, except for the gas. Ugh, gas still sucks. The food, oh my god, the food is so much better. Oh, except for pizza. Obviously, we will have to make our own pizza, which that kind of blows because
yeah, no
Italian food out here
Italian,
is
no
like
Italian
shit.
at all.
Ugh.
All right. For me, number one, the weather. You know, no hurricanes. Allergies.
It's kind of funny too because some of the reasons that she gave are the same reasons he uses now. Mainly the weather and the food, except for there's not any Italian food. But then again, you would think he could just cook that, but he can't cook. So, you know, problems on top of problems on top of problems.
In control, as you can hear, I've been talking this whole time. Have I had to go or?
Ew.
I did it then, just for an example. But did you hear me doing it?
Yeah,
No.
you did it once. I called that out, actually, but you haven't done it much since then, which leads back to my initial theory that either A, you do it as a coping mechanism, and or two, you do it because of how filthy your fucking room is. Either which way, you do it a lot more now than you do then, which speaks to the cleanliness of that house, and or it is very much just a coping mechanism. Because, I'm just saying, it has to be a coping mechanism. It must be one of the two, or it's just a tick.
Because the weather here is so different, the atmosphere is different. My allergies are very slowly going away, which is great. I needed that. You guys know, you know, that last week that I was in Connecticut, I had a freaking sore on my throat and everything was just out of control. Things are going to slowly get better. I get the feeling the longer I stay here, my allergies are going to clear up and things are going to get better in that regard. For me, with the very limited amount of things we've done this week, the two things that I like the most. Number one, that I have complete control. And what I mean by that is, in my old condo, oh, well, you can't get what internet you want. Oh, well, you know, if it snows, now you're stuck at home. Oh, you know what I mean? Like, there were all these things that were out of my control. I really feel that here, I can do whatever I want with the house. I can do, you know, if I want to go out, there's nothing that's going to hinder me from ever going out and doing stuff that I want to do. It's that kind of a place where I really feel independent here. And that was different. Back in Connecticut, I felt confined and limited. Here, I feel independent. And number two, by far, my God, did we pick the best location. Everything you can think of.
Back to what I've always said, is, as a lot of people are starting to say now, is it's all about control. It's legit, always has been and always will be with Phil, is a sense of control. Like right now, at the time that I'm recording this, there was talk of a couple of nights ago, something about him vetoing one of the vests from being voted on because of reasons. I think it was the platinum vest. And the reason why that is because he looks like, to be honest, he looks like a baked potato wrapped in aluminum foil. And he says that he sweats a lot in that vest. So he hates the vest streak. He loves the money, but he hates the vest streak because he looks like a goddamn clown. It's like I said, it's like playing Mr. Potato Head, or it's like Barbie dress up and shit every time he does that dumb shit. It's fucking embarrassing for a grown-ass man to be doing that. Anyway, but he's trying to get some type of control over it, and he knows that the platinum vest is the most popular because the screenshots of that shit, it circulates around the most. There's a lot of funny memes about it, to say the very least. It's fucking hilarious. But yet again, it's just him trying to get some semblance of control. And that's what he wants. He wants to feel like he has control of his surroundings. The problem is the more control you give him, the more he'll fuck it up. Like, that right there is a tried and true method. It's one of the most truest statements that can ever be said. Whenever he gets a little bit of independence where he can do things on his own, he fucks himself up physically, financially, socially, or otherwise. It's amazing to watch. And the fact that he doesn't learn from his mistakes and instead just blames it on somebody else, which is Phil's MO, is the proof in the pudding as far as I'm concerned. Piggy pudding.
Within 3 miles, including, I already mentioned all the fast food, the local grocery store / kind of variety store, it's called Fred Meyer, is less than a block away. The place is amazing. We've gone there every single day to buy more stuff, and we're probably going later today to get even more. A huge asset and a great place to shop, and we're really enjoying that. The local mall is less than 3 miles away. They've got every department store you could think of, every chain store you can think of. Everything is there. Clothing, everything.
Starbucks.
Well, Starbucks is absolutely everywhere. That is true.
It's so freaking. Oh my God! It's everywhere.
Just other like Jimmy John's, which I never tried before, is all around. You know, we found a Quiznos, which closed down completely in Connecticut. We found a Quiznos that's local to us.
Target.
Target. There's a Target right across the street from the mall.
We've been to.
So everything is literally within like a 3 to 4 mile proximity. We've been driving every single day, all day. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. We drove 4 days all day. I've barely used more than 1/8 of a tank of gas.
We've driven, I think the farthest would be from when we went to the airport to home, which was like 10 miles, give or take. That was like the farthest we've driven. Everything else is like 5 miles or less.
So that's what I like the best about it, is that we are actually finding that everything is within a local radius. We don't have to go far to get anything that we need. Best Buy, there's a Best Buy right there. Fry's, which is an electronics chain out here that's good for odds and ends. Everything is worked out really well. We even said this is like nuts. This is like such an upgrade for us. Back in Connecticut, you want to get this or that way, you got to drive 15 minutes this way, 25 minutes this way, just to get to where you're going. Here, within 5 minutes, we can do anything we need to do. Okay.
Someone said,
and there goes the snorting again. Snorting, sorry.
A hamster cam stream between your brakes instead of having a brake screen. Go to the hamster
cam.
Yes,
it's possible. I would have to get a wireless cam because I wouldn't want to. I definitely wouldn't want to run a wire across the whole hallway here. So it could be possible if I could get a wireless webcam that could broadcast from the room next to. We could do a hamster cam. We could go between that. Yeah, it's possible.
That would be so cute, little hamster cam. Of course, the problem is I'd be coming in there. Hello, little Cinnamon. Oh, Cinnamon loves me so much.
Okay. Some people, all right. A Slinky Bitch asked, will we see a lot of change in scenery? when I do things such as the weekend preview Ask the King. I mean, well, yeah, I'm not in Connecticut anymore. I'm not going to be filming in the same spots. What I may do once I get the love seat is whenever I do those vlogs, move the love seat here and have this as a backdrop, right? And I can even, like I said, if I could do green screen or I could set stuff up behind me, I might.
Phil, in order to make you more comfortable, I talked to your parents and we've decided we're going to paint the walls just like they were in the background and brought you your old brown couch.
So it's going to be the half lighter, half darker, off-white eggshell color and the old... Now, that stuff is staying back in Connecticut, thank goodness. And it was actually kind of funny because my parents told me that they actually went by the condo on Thursday. And outside the door of the condo is this box that's dilapidated. It literally looks like someone destroyed the box, right? And all that's in the box, at the bottom of the box, is packing paper. And my parents asked, gee, did you order that? And I said, yes. Actually, what that was packing paper I ordered 2 weeks ago, and the seller fucking delayed the shipment like 2 weeks, and I got it after we already moved. So luckily it was nothing that I needed, but apparently someone got wind that I moved and said, oh, I'm going to see what's in this box, and tore it open to see if it was anything valuable. What a fucking asshole, right? Some people are asking, will we be doing more casual vlogging? So, for example, if we're out and about and we want to just vlog, oh, look what we're doing today, or oh, look, we're going to dinner. And the answer is probably yes. And I'm not saying that we're going to have the camera attached to the fucking hip like this and everywhere we go. But if we know we're going to Seattle for the day, we know that we're going off somewhere special for dinner, you know, we're going for a drive in a direction we haven't gone to before, absolutely we'll be taking the camera and we'll be doing vlogs and stuff like that. This is one of the major things that I tried to explain to everyone, is that this move is going to benefit us in multiple ways. Not only am I going to have my own dedicated office, but we're going to have, you know, a whole new world of opportunities when it comes to vlogging of stuff that we can talk about. What I plan to do is once a day, at least once a day, do a vlog of the home. Whether it's, oh, you know, here's a new thing from the house. Here's us making breakfast. Here's the hamsters today. I want to do at least like one vlog a day from the new place so you guys can see the cool stuff that we're doing every day on a daily basis, making this work, you know, living life as gamers. And I think it's going to be a really neat and unique opportunity and something that...
Living life as gamers? This idiot legit tried to pass us off like him and Panda were running a gamer house with just the two of them. What the fuck? That's pretty funny. Watching us live life as gamers. Wow, so you failed at gaming, you failed at life, and you're failing at the game of life. Well done, Phil. Well done.
For a long time, but very honestly, there was nothing to show when I lived alone, and now that we're together, there's going to be a ton of stuff to show. So that's just one of the many things that I'm brainstorming in my head.
Figuring out how to exploit Panda for profit. Well done, Phil. Well done.
Co-op Saturdays, will it still be John or will it be me now?
First of all, there is no co-op Saturday. It doesn't exist. I already explained this, that once I moved, that co-op Saturday would not exist anymore because it just can't. John's not here to show up and do co-op with me every week, okay? What we will be doing...
Look at that. The Panda's like, I'm here. Remember? Because did you not forget your previous statement, Phil? About you and Panda living together, vlogging your life as gamers? I like how she caught on to that, because she caught it pretty fast. Prioritizing John over her. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge, oink, oink.
What we will be doing is I will be continuing on with Smart Guys. Now, keep in mind, I am not ready at any capacity to continue it right away. And no, this coming weekend, you're not going to see Smart Guys next week. I need to get my equipment set up and working. I need to get a TV in here so I can actually record and watch the wrestling shows, okay? But eventually, probably in 2 to 3 weeks' time, then we'll get back up and running. And every Saturday, you're going to see Smart Guys with Rambo and I. We're going to be doing it over Skype. But in addition to that, I already tossed the idea to him and he loved it, is that we're going to do another show that same day. It's going to be John and I do like a mini podcast. It won't be too long, maybe a half an hour to an hour, where we just shoot the shit and we talk about hot topics, things going on in our lives. Now that we live across the coast, it's going to be very different of the things that are affecting us. He might be in a blizzard and I'm in a rainstorm. He might be in
this idiot legit wanted to try to pass off them doing a coast to coast. So Smart Guys, coast to coast, and then eventually, because he said this in a pre-stream, about them doing co-op gameplay. Well, obviously it'd be online, but online gameplay with each other too. So on and so forth. Obviously you would only get Phil's part of it because I don't think John had a way of capturing, but I could be wrong. But whatever. So, but here's the thing. how much of these plans did you actually go over with John with? Because as I told you earlier on, and you just heard it here, Phil's talking about it like 3 weeks. Hey, we're going to be right back at it. And then he's talking about this whole coast to coast show and all this stuff. But I don't think John had signed off on that or saying that he was ready for any of that. Life don't stop for Darksydephil, DSP, Darksydephil. It doesn't work that way. And I think he didn't get the memo. I think he just expected John to be raring to go when he gets back. And that's not how that works. You know what I mean? So just to give you, yet again, just to give you guys an idea of how much he had riding on, how much he had riding on John. And it also explains the animosity that he had for John the years to come when things didn't work out.
Heat wave and I'm having cold air. Who knows? You know, it'd be fun to see the differences from coast to coast. And we haven't named it yet. We're thinking about it. John and Phil shoot the shit. Or coast to coast with DSP and Rambo. I don't know what the hell we'll call it. But we want to kind of do an ongoing, like a mini podcast weekly like that as well. Now, co-op gameplay. With John and I, it's only going to happen in a few situations. Number one, if we both are buying a game and it has online co-op capability. I'll be honest with you guys. There haven't been a lot of those. There really haven't. If you remember, the way we used to do it, John would come to the condo and he would have his own setup. I would have my setup and we'd both go on the internet together and matchmake together and play. We haven't done that in a long time. In fact, the last time I remember doing it was like Dead Space 3, and maybe there was one or two other times last year. There just weren't a lot of opportunities for that. So, no, in that regard, there's not going to be a lot of that. In regards to couch co-op, so for example, if a new Mario Party game comes out, sure, Leanna and I will play something like that. Ooh. You know, new games that are that kind of style, and you want to see people playing it locally. Absolutely, that's the kind of stuff that we will be doing, you know, locally. And there's other things coming out as well. I'm sure that we'll want to do co-op, and if there's capability to have other players included, we'll talk to people along the way and see if people can join us online to play. But no, things are changing. I explained this. Listen. The times are changing. There was a time when I was stuck in Connecticut and, you know, John made the effort to drive an hour and a half each way every week to do that co-op. We had our blast. We had our last hurrah, and that chapter is done. I still will be doing stuff with John on a weekly basis. John and I will try to see what we can coordinate with games coming up of things that we can play over the internet, but it's not going to be like it used to be. It's just the way of things, okay? Things change.
People asked if I'm going to do direct capture or do Twitch live streaming, whatever. Maybe.
Yeah, I would say it's a maybe because it's going to depend on can we get her older PC working, which by the way has been broken for like a year. Once I get my hands on it, I'll see if I can fix it. If
yeah,
not,
you can't fix jack shit. They end up just buying her a brand new one.
We have another PC, which was the PC I used to use for video editing. Could she use that to do that kind of stuff? I have direct capture devices. I have the Roxio Game Capture HD, the Elgato, and the HD PVR2, all of which can do it. Can we get it working and set up with a PC and her consoles? Maybe. I want to get her, you know, a nice office set up in there that maybe she could do it too.
No, I think about it too. I think when she moved out, I think she abandoned that PC too. I mean, you know, it is what it is. But I think she abandoned that when she left. So theoretically, Phil has 5 tower PCs. He has 5 PCs and 1 laptop, and then obviously Catherine has her own PC.
It's all in the future. You know what I mean? That's once the business that makes the money gets set up, and we're settled in, then we can try to see if we can get that set up too. Okay.
And I could do the 24-hour hamster stream.
Yes, you could. The hamster special stream.
What are you looking forward to the most in the long run now that you're finally settled in and starting a new chapter of your life?
I hate those questions. I don't know. I don't look that far. I don't look 10 years ahead and say, what do I want to do in the long run?
I could ask you what you want to do next week and you'd be like, ooh.
It's like, I'm just not that kind of person. You know what I mean?
And that's the reason why he suffers. Now, looking 10 years ahead of time is a bit egregious. It's most people can't even imagine what they're going to do in 10 minutes. But looking 10 years in advance or ahead of time is one thing. Fair enough. But you should have an idea of what you want to be or where do you want to be in the next 3 to 5 years. You should have a general idea of where you want your business, in air quotes, to go in the next 2 or 3 years. That right there is not real. It's not unrealistic. You know what I'm saying? It's not out of the question. It's not too much to ask. But for Darksydephil it is. And since he wants to just keep going by the seat of his goddamn pants, it's the reason why he's almost lost everything. He almost. You know what I mean? And like I said, this is a grown-ass dude. Like, what the fuck, man? Like, what the fuck? Like, you know what I'm saying? He's sitting there trying to treat life like it's a video game and there's going to be extra lives in this shit. You're only going to have so many continues, man. You're only going to have so many continues until that shit catches up to you. You got to be smarter than that. Which just goes to show how grossly unprepared he was when he left Connecticut and when he left his parents' house in general.
Clearly. But what I'm most looking forward to is getting married, having 2.5 children.
Oh my god, listen to this baloney. What a bunch of baloney that is.
Aye, sir.
You caught that? Now, the kid thing, she might have been joking with. It is what it is. But she was legit about getting married. And you remember, and I want you to take a look at this face right here. Panda with the mouth open. Anyway. But in actuality, this response here isn't too far off for when Phil and Kat on one of those IRL streams they had, and they were talking about having kids, and Phil's like, well, I'm not having kids. We decided we're not going to have kids, so on and so forth. And Kat just leaned back into the love seat and crossed her arms and just slumped in. It's obvious that she had other plans. It wasn't a smooth transition as Phil said it was. And that's understandable. Like, you know what I'm saying? Most women want to have children. I won't say all women, but most women want to have kids. So for Phil to just shut it down because he thinks it's going to be an inconvenience to him, because, you know, Phil needs to be the center of his own universe, tells you a lot. But right here, though, if you guys have been following from the main channel, I've been saying it. He never had any intention of marrying this girl. Ever. He never had an intention of marrying Panda. Not ever. He would have kept her in maid / girlfriend / roommate status for as long as he could. But this chick legit wanted to get married. The kid thing, I'll leave that up to you. I swore I've heard her say in the past that she really wasn't interested in having kids. But she definitely wanted to get married. She definitely wanted to be married. And Phil never had any intention of marrying that chick. Ever. Ever. He never had any intention of marrying her.
Offended. I'm offended.
Have I considered upgrading my PC instead of buying a new one? No. Because that PC has been broken since day one. It has cracks on the fucking case. I have to jam things into the side to not make the fan make noise. One of the hard drives was never installed properly and the wires are damaged. That PC needs to be buried. Okay? I need to start fresh. I don't need to upgrade. I need to get a fresh working configuration that works from day one, not a gimped out computer, which is what I've had ever since I bought that one. So there's your answer there.
Is there going to be a DSP tries it of weed? Or will you review the dispensaries?
Stupid questions. All right, we'll probably take one or two more here, and then we're going to wrap it up, everyone. We got stuff to do today. We've got stuff. We have to go out shopping, get cabbage.
What an ungrateful cunt. Look at all these stupid questions. Absolutely fucking stupid questions. All right, guys. Got 2 more left, and that's it. Dude, what the fuck is the point of you having a Q&A if you're not going to at least try to make an attempt to answer certain questions? You know what I mean? Like, if someone doesn't know, is the question really stupid? And in actuality, there's really no such thing as a stupid question. Only stupid answers, more often than not. But semantics. I guess that varies depending on the situation.
I might go, like I said, go look for some shorts. We're still looking for rugs, so we're going to look for furniture and rug stores. We could try to do that. We're still looking for
keep in mind, they've been out there for a week already in a fucking rent-a-car that stained and smells terrible, and he still hasn't taken care of the shit yet. Hasn't gone out to buy clothes. Hasn't gone out to get rugs yet. Hasn't gone out to get all the peripherals they need. What the fuck are you waiting for? Jesus Christ.
Leanna. So maybe hit up Staples or Office. There's 100 Office Depots out here we saw. Where we can look at that kind of stuff. We got a lot to do still, even though
Here's some good
we're a
ones.
week into it. There's a lot to do. Oh, what do we got?
We got, will you, now that you have the larger space, will you do the DDP yoga? And will you attend any sporting events since Seattle's got its own sports teams and the state of Washington has sports teams?
DDP yoga is possible. What we'll need to do is figure out where can we do it effectively. Because think about it this way, right? Once all the stuff's moved in, there's no room. Again. Because you're going to have a couch in the living room taking up all the space. You're going to have the dining sets taking up the dining room. You're going to have... This room's going to be jam-packed with stuff. The only room that really will even have any space would be your office, but there's no TV in there right now.
The office, or could we somehow jerry-rig up the nook in the master bedroom?
Could you? Yeah, but the problem is that it's so long and not wide that there may be positions and stuff we can't do. And again, there's no TV in there. So DDP yoga I'd love to do. Is it something, again, in the long run we can figure out? Probably. Is it something we're going to be doing immediately? Probably not.
Because, yeah, physical exercise is not something he's interested in doing.
All right. Any other questions? Or are we
the
done
one
here?
about attending, like, events in Seattle, like sports things, concerts.
I mean, is there a possibility? Absolutely. Again, people are just asking these questions that are, like, so long-term. Like, people have already asked me, too,
Are you going to go to a fucking ball game or something? That's a long-term question? Fucking idiot. Anyway, keep in mind, though, when Seattle won the Super Bowl, this idiot was like, oh, yeah, my hometown team won the Super Bowl, guys. You know, we're Super Bowl winners and shit. Like, what? That's not your hometown, though. You just live there. You ain't really from there. But semantics. Because, like, especially when it comes to football, right? Especially if any of you guys have gone to, well, before the pandemic, you ever go into a sports bar? Especially some of the sports bars I go to. Dude, you find people there from fucking Oakland, from fucking Miami, from Atlanta, from Pittsburgh, from just about all New York teams, fucking Buffalo, just everywhere, dude. Fucking a lot of Buffalo, a lot of Jets, a lot of Giants fans. God damn, dog. God damn, dog. Like a lot of guys from San Francisco, just all over. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people from St. Louis. God damn. Like St. Louis be coming out in force and shit. These people don't live there in any of the places that they're wearing team jerseys from, but they're from there. You know what I'm saying? Does that make sense? Either they were born there or they were raised there. So like they think of that place as their hometown, not the place that they live. You know what I'm saying? Like, but I mean, I guess that's semantics. I guess it's however which way you want to take it. But like Phil ain't from there. He just attached himself to that shit because they won, so he feels like a winner too. How many fucking games did he watch? How many Seattle games did he fucking watch? I'm not saying actually went out to see any of their home games. I mean, how many games did he watch on TV? None. So get the fuck out of here. Or on YouTube. Get the fuck out of here. And like I said, that's a stupid thing to say, dude. Like, how the fuck have you been there for that many years and you never thought about going out to a ball game or anything? Like, Jesus Christ. Like, you know, I mean, whatever. Like, Phil's not a sports fan anyway, so I guess that's a semantic type question anyway.
Going to all the conventions, I haven't looked into it yet. Listen, this is like, that's what you do 2 months down the line when you're settled in, everything works, all your stuff's delivered, your home feels like a home. It's not an empty cave like it is right now. I'm like, these are great things I'll look into, but these are like way future view for me. I'm not thinking about concerts. I'm not thinking about sports. I'm not thinking about conventions. These are things that will
Despite the fact, though, when him and Panda went out there for like 4 or 5 days, however long it was, to look for houses and all that, and they were going around the city and going around different provinces or whatnot. These are some of the very same things he talked about. Oh, wanted to go out to conventions, maybe go out to some of the sports arenas and do all the shit. These are all things that he put the idea out there. You know what I'm saying? He's the one who propagated and projected these ideas, and now we're shutting them all down, which is a typical DSP-ism.
Time. I already had people message me, Phil, can I meet you? No, I'm too busy. This is the time for me to have private time.
Hey, Phil, you know, I live in your general area, man. Maybe like we can meet up sometime. No, I don't. I just want your views, man. Or I just want your money on Patreon. He hasn't started Patreon yet, but I just want your money on Patreon. I don't want to meet you. I don't like you people. Fuck you guys. Just give me your money. What an asshole.
Time to set stuff up. You want to meet me? Sure. 6 months to a year down the line when I'm attending conventions, I'll be publicly announcing it and you can meet up with me there. But just chill out for now, guys, and let me set up my stuff, and we'll go from there. Okay.
So fans are not going to be coming to our place for fancy parties.
Absolutely not.
He's been snorting a lot too, since the air out here is so good and whatnot, and you don't hear me snorting nearly as much, have you? Now he's snorting a lot. Imagine that.
I was just asking if you're going to play certain games or something.
Yeah, I think we're pretty much at this point. We're pretty much conked out on questions. I don't really see much else.
Will you two ever get married someday? There you go.
Again, can I please set up the house, please? You ask this. Yeah, that's of course that's what I'm thinking. I'm dropping all my money. All my savings are being paid for this house. Immediately, I want to think about a wedding. Oh, these people.
Just ask if you're going to get married. No one said you guys got to get married tomorrow, which goes back to yet again what I said. He never had any intention of marrying that girl. Ever. He never had any holy shit. He had no intention of ever marrying that girl. Ever. He never had any intention of marrying her. Like, and I'm pretty sure he made all the excuses in the world on why they couldn't. Oh, we can't afford to get married next month or whatever. You don't get married next month, idiot. You know what I mean? You just, you guys, just first off talk and see if you guys want to get married. And then, you know what I'm saying? Later on down the line, you get engaged. You know what I'm saying? Then you plan out for a wedding and so on and so forth. Or you just go to the courthouse. The same shit he did with Kat. But then again, he lied about that nonsense too. Oh, me and Kat can't get married right now. We can't afford it, so on and so forth. Then flies out to meet his sick and dying parents, get married out there, have a wedding at his house, at his family's house, I should say. He's a fucking scumbag. But if he wanted to marry Panda, he would have. But he didn't. He didn't want to marry her. And it is what it is. I mean, that's the reality of it. He never had any intention of marrying her. And I think she had the hope for it, but never was going to do it.
Together feel too.
These people. All right, everyone. I think we're going to wrap it up here. I want to thank everyone. We have over 800 people on the stream, even though the stream was choppy. Again, I apologize. That's not the internet. That's actually my laptop could not handle the 720p streaming. If we do this again later this week, maybe I'll downgrade the video quality so that it doesn't chop up like that. But thanks. I hope that this has been an informative video and or stream for you. If you wanted to know what was going on with us, thanks for attending. As you can see, we're here and we're healthy and happy. We just need to get the rest of the stuff here and get going, okay? There will be more vlogs. This video is being recorded, but there will be more vlogs today. And we'll go from there. So thanks, everyone, for attending the stream. I really do appreciate it. And I guess that's going to be it, right? Any final things to say, honey, before we sign off?
Nope.
No. Okay. That's it, everyone. Tonight, more vlogs on the King of Hate Vlogs and this video as well. And we'll go from there. All right, everyone? Peace out. And we'll see you later.
Still don't know how to turn the stream off, Phil?
I'm also recording now. I didn't.
Alright, guys. Holy shit. Lot to unpack. Give me just a second to clean this up because last thing I want to do is talk shit and then have the same type of issues. Give me a second to straighten all this up and I'll see you guys in just a second. Holy shit. Damn it, Phil. Why didn't you be honest with that girl?
Hey, yo. I just want to say shout out to my red bike. It got stolen about a year ago. And I think about you every day. But, you know, now I got a blue bike. And it's not the same, but it's a new life, a new journey. So, rest in pedals, red bike, I love you. I like to bask in the tropics with a flask in my pocket. If you acting no brolic, I'll start laughing and mocking like a charismatic parrot that isn't comic. Now I'm feeling like the shit, cause I'm rapping with finest. Off of Jan Ricky's, perusing Sin City, riding my
holy shit. Lot to unpack. Holy shit. Alright, so where do we go from here? First off, a lot of broken promises.
A lot of shattered dreams. A lot of ambitions that I think she had that were never going to come to fruition. Dude, he went out there to just be a louse and just fucking sit around his fucking house and play video games and drink, and that's it. He never had any intention of really going out there and living fucking life. I know on the vlogs when they went house hunting and shit and they're vlogging their trip out there, he said all that bullshit, but in actuality, dude, he never had any intention of doing that. Not at all. Sorry, my bad, I'm getting a little bit fucking off put on that. Fucking nothing was gonna ever come up to fruition. He didn't come through with anything in his life, anything as part of his business, none of that shit. It was all bullshit. A lot of major takeaways. First thing, he's poor planning. Poor planning is what is one of the main issues that plague the existence of that relationship and their move. A lack of guile, a lack of ambition, a lot of procrastination, and the fact that the situation with the rent-a-car is shit. Take the car back and just get another one. Just ask for another car. Too lazy to do that. He's been sitting on his ass for a week up to that point, doing little odds and ends, but not really doing jack shit, and driving around in a fucking rent-a-car that leaks and smells. No one has to subject themselves to that. Just take it back, you idiot. As it pertains to Panda in general, and basically coming off on this bullshit like, oh, we're gonna do everything together, and we know now that he certainly didn't, and she was basically caught holding the bag. And then the fact that the girl really wanted to marry him and actually have a life, and he had no intention of doing that shit. He wanted no parts of that. He wanted to just keep that bitch complacent, keep her busy with what little shit that'll make her happy, and end the story. They can just exist like that. He never had any intention of making a life for her. He just wanted to exist with her. And then just the failure of himself. Like, just the way he treated his audience and shit. Oh, your questions are fucking stupid. Why are you asking me stupid ass questions? Why are you guys like, no, I don't want to fucking hang out with you guys, or I don't want to do co-op with any of you guys, or any of that shit. The only person I care about is John, and it'll be weeks until I can get that done. Even though Panda's right there. Like, not only could you have done some co-op with her, or more co-op with her, but also you could have taught her how to edit, or she could have taught herself how to edit, and had her edit your videos. He just wasted a shitload of advantages that he could have had. He wasted a shitload of them. And that, and the fact you guys were there for 2 fucking weeks, and I'm not saying that you had to go ahead and get her license right away, but goddamn, dog, you would think it was she was there for a couple years, or at least a year or 2 before she finally got her license and all that shit. You should have jumped on that right away, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Let that girl get squared off. And like I said, you can kind of share the tasks. I don't know, man. Like, it was, like I said, broken promises and shattered dreams. Absolutely. And honestly, I think he only said those things because he thought other people wanted to hear it. Not just Panda, but people in his audience. And at the end of the day, he never was going to follow through on that. He was never going to follow through on that. And that's a shame, to be honest, because I think Panda deserved better. I think his audience deserved better. It's a shame that neither one of them actually thought that. And that's why they put up with it for as long as they did. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, because Jesus Christ, a wealth of information. I learned a lot. Hopefully you guys have been refreshed on a lot, and so on and so forth, especially the move in general. Like, I'm kind of glad that I got better clarification on that, to be honest. I'm glad I got better clarification on that. But then again, that only strengthens my argument that it didn't cost $10,000 to move across country. What the fuck? You know what I'm saying? So the fact that he's carrying on that lie is already insulting in itself. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it. I might mirror the actual raw stream itself, so you guys can kind of go over that, and then I'll follow it up with this, or maybe I won't. I'll just throw that out there, and then I'll leave a link. I usually link all my stuff down in the description anyway, but I don't know what I'm gonna do yet. But I definitely think people should watch this before they watch mine, but it's whatever. I'll figure out what I do with it. Either which way it'll work out. But anyway, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for listening in. I very much appreciate it, and I'll catch you guys for the next one of these, hopefully sooner than later. This is DSP News 2nd Edition. Take care of yourselves, guys. Later. Oh my gosh. Shit.
I hope that this alright with you. With you. Hey yo, someone stole my red bike, so I bought a blue one. If I see that fucker riding it, then I'ma sue one. Got rich, then I blew up, got everyone in my crew one. Ride for my true ones. Yo, I told my girl I got a new chain. Yeah. I hope that this alright with you. With you.